Merry Christmas. It's Friday night pint live. It's a big one. It's a special Christmas party edition. You've seen the thumbnail. I've put a lot of their time into that thumbnail. And yeah, it's a good one. And we got the drinks with Friday night pint with pints. Imagine that.
No, actually, it's Friday night pint with actually a bit of booze on the show.
I know. Yeah. I didn't get the memo. I've got red wine. Sorry.
Sorry, now you're talking.
Now you're novelty. Friday night pint with an actual pint, eh? That's special. But yeah, listen, it's going to be a great show. Lots of laughs, drinks, Nicky's stories. We're going to try and rein him in a bit. But yeah, I mean, obviously starting it off, he'll be in. Obviously, Ryan and Scott and myself. We're joined with a special guest, Nick from Claret and Booze. Is joining us this evening, regular in the chat, always watches and always gives good opinions. And, I like Nick a lot. I know, Nick, you're Mr. Controversial, but are you feeling...
Would you say that?
You have some certain strong opinions. You're a very, very pro-Moyes.
I am.
But tonight, despite the result, are you feeling jolly? Are you feeling festive?
Yeah, it's Christmas. It's Christmas. Yeah, I say I'm over it. I am over it. I'm not going to let West Ham ruin my Christmas break. So whatever happens with the football is Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, let's be honest, Nick. You won't be getting any Ferrero Rochers off of David Moyes this year.
Don't you reckon? I'm off the Christmas card list.
I don't think any of us will, mate. To be honest. But...
Do you know what? Like, imagine, Nick, Christmas Eve, you go to bed, you're visited by the three ghosts, right, of Moyesmas. The free ghost of Moyesmas.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And they teach you, and they take you around and show you all the good that Moyes does, and all the memories that you've had. And
he does it in every press conference.
I see it now. The meaning of Moyes, and he wakes you up, and you open your window. What day is this? Get Moyes the biggest turkey we can find, and you go around his house. And I want to see that. I would watch that film.
Yeah, then Nick leans out the window and goes, "You there, fetch me a season ticket, the finest season ticket in all of London Stadium."
I would watch that film. Yeah, honestly. The Moyesmas Carol, we'll call it. We might have to produce that. I might talk to you after.
Be a smash hit. It will.
That'd be brilliant. But like I said, it's one of them times, like I said, it was awful. But at least we've got, obviously, football to look forward to. Think about it, Liverpool, Man United and Arsenal in the space of how many days? Like, what's that, 4 days, 5 days?
4 days. Yeah, less than a week.
That's insane, isn't it, when you think about
it?
Like,
that's the thing. It's going to be great because West Ham's got the potential to ruin your Christmas and your New Year all rolled into one.
Exactly. I know.
Hang on. Ain't that the West Ham way?
Exactly, mate.
It is. Well, they always say West Ham come down with the Christmas decorations, didn't we? We don't usually do well at this time of year.
It could go the other way as well, people. It could go the other way. They could, they could spring a few surprises. You don't know.
6 points and we'll forget about the other night.
Just what we need. Yeah, that's what we deserve. That's what I want. Is just give us something to smile about. Just batter Man United. Oh, batter Arsenal. That would be... Because
Arsenal's a one.
Yeah, I've seen them ruin many a Christmas for me on Boxing Day when we've played them, and now it's time to return the favour. Well, the day after Boxing Day, what was it? The 27th, 28th. Yeah. So we're not playing on Boxing Day for a change. We're not playing New Year's Day. We're not playing Boxing Day.
It's a shame because when I was younger, I used to love Boxing Day games.
It was good.
Park, early kickoffs. Always seemed like we played Charlton as well. Always felt like we played Charlton on Boxing Day, but yeah,
it's never going to happen again, is it? I don't think because they can't do it, can they? Because of Westfields.
No. I know it's a busy time, but I do love the Christmas period in football. Games just come thick and fast.
Boys don't like it.
Yeah.
What no. Yeah, it's too many. It's too much. It's too much for you. But we've got I want to look and see the space how spaced out games are for everyone else. Like I said, because we're not playing on Boxing Day. Do we get a bit more of a break? Than other people get more a bit of space?
No, we have the break in between. We have a longer break between Man United and Arsenal, but then we've got a shorter break.
Yeah, it evens out, doesn't it?
Arsenal Brighton. So it all weighs up. It's just giving Arsenal more of a rest. That's all that is.
Yeah. It always evens out, but they usually didn't because they usually try and keep it. So I think the reason why we sort of always seem to play Arsenal or, like I said, Charlton back in the days because they try and keep it local, didn't they, for the fixtures for boxing?
Well, they used to, not anymore, mate.
I mean, when's the last time we had a long distance Boxing Day game?
Yeah, we played Swansea on Boxing Day once.
Oh,
when was that?
When me and you went right, weren't it? Was that Boxing Day?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Oh.
But that's the thing. Look at what they did Liverpool Leicester the other year, weren't it? Made them the 8 o'clock kickoff on Boxing Day or something like that, and there was no trains going back up to Liverpool.
They don't care about the fans now, do they?
Exactly. That's the last thing they worry about. They're not bothered. So long as they earn their money, they don't care. We're the last thing.
Yeah.
Weren't there train issues back from Liverpool? There was, wasn't there?
Yeah. Nicky's going to be in a couple of minutes. He's just sorting out his camera, make himself look pretty, put on his makeup and that. But Nick,
do his green screen,
mate. I know there's there's comments in everyone knows. Speaking of the devil, and he will appear. But why Nicky's getting ready? Nick, introduce yourself, mate. And people that don't know you, tell us about your loving of David Moyes.
I'm Nick from Claret and Booze. I love David Moyes. If you haven't seen me, yeah, just do what these guys do, just on a different channel. Claret and Booze, same sort of thing, same sort of format. Group of us. There's 4 of us now, so the team has grown. We've now got Mickey joining myself, my brother Gary, and John. Yeah, same sort of format as you guys. We obviously we don't do the fan cams. We just do we do a Sunday night show, a group show, and we do some rambles during the week and some post-match reviews. But same stuff. All
where are you from, Nick? If you don't mind me asking.
Mile End.
Oh, thank far. I thought you was going to say Canning Town.
Mile End. I'm from Mile End. Yeah.
Finally, good. It's different. Do you know what I mean?
Hang on. I was born in Mile End as well. I was born in Mile End. I grew up in Canning Town.
Canning Town.
It's all down to where you're born, though. It's all down to where you're born.
Oh, on my passport it says Tower Hamlets.
Yeah,
I can beat that. I was born in Whitechapel, and on my birth certificate it says Stepney.
So really?
Wait, am I the only Newham-born member of this channel? Is that what you're saying?
No, Graham was born in Basildon.
No, Graham was born in
Las
Bethlehem.
Vegas.
Boy, eh?
Yeah,
Graham was born in Bethlehem.
He weren't meant to be born in.
Does Nicky want us to add him in, or is he going to add himself? I don't know.
He weren't meant to be born in. He weren't meant to be born in Basildon, but he was meant to be born in Plaistow. It ended up being.
Where was Nicky born then?
Nicky, I think Nicky was born in.
Nicky was born in Newham as well, I think.
Yeah,
was he? No, he wasn't.
He
He's not in the No, he weren't born. Newham is Forest Gate. Forest Gate is in Newham.
Yeah, but you got
Newham
Hospital or Forest Gate.
Yeah, the borough. I mean, like, so it's me and Nicky were born in the borough of Newham. Yeah, West Ham borough.
The rest of us are Tower Hamlets.
Me and Nick,
but it's good to see a fellow out of towner on the show.
me and Nick were born in Mile End, and Ronnie and Reggie delivered us both. That's our Cockney we are.
That's exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, Graham. Yeah, I didn't know that about Graham.
Yes, where was Graham born?
Basildon.
Well, that makes a lot of sense now. That's why he's always 20 minutes behind everyone else in the conversation.
I think Mickey. I think Mickey was born in Canning Town. The new guy that's joined us. He's a Canning Town lad. Moved out to Harlow.
He sounds like a Canning Town boy.
He is.
He reminds me of Joe Swash.
I know. Looks like Ryland Clark though, doesn't he?
Yeah. Mickey's blurred out. What's going on with his camera?
I don't know. Nicky's turned into a ghost.
You can't see it. With Nicky in his little box below, where he's waiting in the background. He was blurred out. Now he's just disappeared.
Anyway,
but yeah, it's funny actually.
Before we get into like the positive stuff and have a bit of a laugh, shall we talk about the negative from the other night?
Negative?
Let's get it out of the way. Listen, it can't be a negative. We had too many games, Ryan. That's a positive. Now we've got less games to worry about. That's what they're saying.
I see the team come out, and as soon as I looked at that back four, I just said to my mate in the pub, I went, we've got no chance tonight.
Game over.
I even said to him, I said, look, if we get in at 1-0, we'll be lucky. But if he makes the subs that we all wanted to see, Paquetá, James Ward-Prowse and Emerson, we might have a go. As soon as I see this, I thought, nah, this is it. he's just thrown away all that hard work that we done to beat Arsenal. You know, you look at the rest of the teams that are left in it: Chelsea, Middlesbrough, and Fulham. Over 2 legs, we would have beat any of them. And it is a real chance for us to win a domestic trophy. Listen, I love the European Cup. It was brilliant. But to win the League Cup and play at a final at Wembley would have been unreal. And I just, that was on Moyes. And I try to back Moyes, you know, but I can't defend that. Just like we couldn't defend the fucking goals the other night.
When I saw your tweet, I was like, wow. You know, like even I see Ray Winston's video and like, so even
he was like raging, wasn't he? Raging.
Yeah, and I was like, he was spot on in what he was saying. And I said this to some because I was arguing with a few people on Twitter, you know, shock horror. You wouldn't believe it. But as you do. And because people have defended it and saying, you know, oh, well, you know, we've got all these games and, too many fixtures. So we have to rest, we have to rotate. And I said, well, we know this game's coming up. We know the fixtures get heavy in Christmas. So if it is too much, why go strong in the early rounds then? Why not just fucking play the reserves, play the kids in round 1 if we're not bothered about it when we get to the point where it's like, you know, we're this close to the final?
Arsenal was pointless. Arsenal was pointless, wasn't it?
Why did we play a strong team against Arsenal? What was the point?
Entering the entire competition is absolutely pointless if you're going to use excuses like that. At the end of the day, look, he threw people under the bus. Ben Johnson got thrown under the bus. I'm a big critic of Ben Johnson, but he was playing on that left side. He hasn't barely kicked a ball all season. I think the only game he's played was Lincoln.
He wasn't that bad, Scott. I didn't think he wasn't that bad.
No, and that's the thing, because I didn't see the game. I'm on going what the highlights were seeing, what Graham said to me, and he was getting coated on Twitter and things like that.
Yeah, no, I thought he was one of the players
by Moyes and Ben Rama.
Well.
Yeah,
Ben Rama offered nothing whatsoever.
Nothing new, is it?
No, and this is the problem. You look at Johnson. He looked like he wanted to get forward. He was alongside of Bonner, and I love Bonner, but his day's done. You know, that guy needs to leave. I don't know what the matter with Kehrer is. Kehrer must be absolutely awful in training to not get a game, and we're playing an old Bonner. You know, Moyes just messed it massively. Same as what he done when we lost to Arsenal in the League Cup before, when he didn't want to win the game. You know, what we're sacrificing. I'd rather lose to Man United, beat Liverpool at Anfield, get through to a semi-final where you got a chance of winning silverware and getting into Europe, than winning one game against Manchester United. What does that game guarantee us beating Man United? Absolutely fuck all.
No.
So if you ran a poll before that game, before the squads came out, and you gave the fan base the option of saying, look, we can only go full strength in one of these games, this one or Man United, everyone would have said, go strong in this one.
Oh, yeah,
they would have. Yeah. Go strong in the cup. Don't worry about Man U. They would have.
I think everyone sort of our generations would. People younger would turn around and say beating Man United is more important than winning a cup game.
I don't get it.
Yeah, with the goalkeeper situation, like Areola being in goal, do you think that maybe now Fabianski's going to be our number 1 in the league again? Or do you think he was just giving Areola a bit of game time to come back? Because it'd be interesting to see who starts tomorrow.
Be Fabs.
Yeah, I reckon Fabs is our number 1 again.
It's weird though, because it's not like you can really say that Areola's been shit. Yeah, he conceded a few goals against Liverpool. You say he's just come back from injuries. His first game back, he's chucked in the deep end there.
Look at the defence he had in front of him, for God's sake.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I defended Ben. I've defended Ben Rama so much on this channel. I've had rows with Nicky over him, and Nicky eventually came around, but I can't defend that. I thought he was absolutely disgraceful for that goal.
Do you think
it was just like he was switched off?
I think he's got his mind elsewhere. I think he might leave.
It seemed that way.
I think there is something to be said though, Ryan, and they're like for these backup players that look crap now, like the likes of Fornals. I don't know. I just think maybe they've just been affected by the fact Moyes has got his little circle. It's clear they're out of it. He hasn't really looked after him in any way. He throws him under the bus at every. I mean, was that really an opportunity for those backup players away at Anfield? 6 players. Was that an opportunity for them to shine? Of course it weren't.
No, of course not. It's again Moyes throwing people under the bus to turn around and say, "Oh look, I'm right in what I pick." These players ain't good enough. These players ain't good enough because you're not giving them no game time. They've got no form. They've got no sharpness. They've got no confidence. Look, Fornals. I've said this all along. Fornals doesn't offer anything playing out wide. He runs around a lot. That is it. Right, he's probably one of the most overrated players we've had in a couple of seasons now. because people seem to love him because he runs around a lot. Listen, he scored some important goals, but he's missed some really important chances that could have won us games. So it's all balanced. But
do you not feel like he's been made into that player by Moyes though?
Yeah,
to a degree.
Yeah, 100%. Because Dan said it many a time. He's more suited in the middle than he is. Yeah. He's not a winger, and Moyes keeps consistently playing with it. Same as he done when Vlasic come in. Vlasic ain't a winger. He plays him on the left wing.
I know.
It goes back to that. Who is making the decisions on these players, and why are they being played the way they're being played? Because for me, Moyes ain't signing these players because he just doesn't care about him. He doesn't look after him. He doesn't try and nurture him and bring them through and do. When it's his player, he does that. Like a Jared Bowen, he nurtures him, he brings him through, he gets him playing to how he wants to play. But if it ain't one of his players, they're just left to drift.
Ain't that wrong though? I mean, even if they're not his players, once they're bought for him and they're part of the club, the team that he manages, they're his responsibility.
Yeah, he does go on because he did play last season. He did play Ben Rama quite a bit. I remember because before that he weren't giving Ben Rama a chance, and then he started playing him quite a bit.
I thought he was good last year, Danny.
Yeah, last season, yeah. But and then he banged in all them goals, all them penalties for us.
But what other options did we have there? What other options did we have to play on that left side
as well? Like during the COVID season, Moyes loved Fornals, didn't he? Yeah, he was his main player. And then, it just seems like towards the end of last season, he was using it a little bit, but this season he ain't getting looking. But Ben Rama's gone right off the rails. He's just like, I understand it's hard when you're a football player. You want to be playing week in, week out. But look, there's a
mental side to the game as much as there's a physical and a technical side. And
100%.
I think he struggles with that aspect, the mentality.
Especially when you're getting good wins and you're not involved and you're not part of it.
Yeah,
that hurts football players.
And it must have been
them players, and when they're sitting on the
final, I'm saying he was a big part of the final. He scored the penalty, right? Was there on cloud nine. The next thing, new season, you think you're on a high, and then you're out, and you're on the bench, and you're watching from afar. That's got to be devastating to go from that to that, isn't it?
But I think the other thing as well, it's like in the past where he's called on these backup players before, and he calls them backup players. We saw it with Flynn Downs last year. It don't matter how well these players do, whether it's in Europa or anywhere else. What they should get rewarded, Didn't Downs get like 2 back-to-back man of the match performances, didn't he, in Europe? And it didn't translate to a reward for a starting place. It should do, but it doesn't. I think Nicky said it on his post-match show. He said these players know that they could, Ben Rama could have scored a hat trick. He wouldn't have been starting against Man United. Now he's out of favour.
Who just only starts because Moyes ain't got a chance to not play him because he's that good.
He can't not play him. He can't not play him.
That's why he shoved Bowen up top. He's not Bowen's not the answer as a striker.
No,
he scored a fantastic goal the other night. And he's playing well, but he's not the answer. He's shoved him now so he can shoehorn Kudus in the side. You hear with his comments, he thinks Kudus is more of a number 9. Kudus like, I don't want to play number 9. I'm not a number 9. We sacrificed our best ball player to play out left.
Do you know? The worst thing that Moyes does is talk. Whenever I hear him after these games,
mate, what was worse, the game or his fucking interviews? They were terrible.
Yeah, that really it just pisses you off even more. The stuff he comes out with, and I was writing people about this. The club post match interviews that we put out with that Pritchard geezer, and he's there. He's like, "Oh, boss, we fought well, but it wasn't our night tonight, boss." And do you think that the extra games, really had an impact on us, boss? And that's why it's so difficult, boss, isn't it? We've played really well this season, boss. What do you think about that? That's the interview, and I know I'm not expecting him to go, "Why didn't you play the fucking first team?" But you can say, "Oh, I see you rotated tonight, David. Can you tell us the thought process behind?" Ask questions that people want to know the answers to, or don't do it because you're just wasting Moyes' time and you're wasting everyone else's time making these ass-kissing post-match interviews.
But you've seen in the recent interview the way that David Moyes deals with awkward questions, or when he's feeling petulant when the guy asked him what he was doing over Christmas. Not that was an awkward question, but he's rude.
Yeah, even though you're a woman, you're not too big to get a slap. Remember that one?
He's rude, yeah. So
to give you a slap. Let's get
But even so, Dan, that interview where the guy does usually look after him with soft questions, that was the biggest car crash of the lot. Moyes just went on this weird ramble, didn't he? You know,
yeah.
You know, we're not good. We're not good enough. It's Liverpool. It's as simple as that. They're too fast. They're too strong.
Do you know what I think it boils down to? I don't think he's good enough for them big games.
100%.
He's
not. He's not.
No,
he's never won it. But I think my problem is the gaslighting of the fans that he does a lot when he goes about our expectations, and he's like, "Well, you know, look how well we're playing, and we need a Saudi billionaire." And it's like no one is fuming at you or the team because we haven't won at Anfield.
Nope.
It was the approach. It was the setup. It was that you basically just forfeited before the first whistle. That's why people are pissed off, because people pay their money and to follow this team. We're in a quarterfinal. We're not a team that gets far. Like he pointed out, you know, this is new territory for us. So while you're there, we want to see you make the most of it. We want you. We don't want you to throw away quarterfinals. Like, remember when he did it? I remember I was at Arsenal in the Carabao quarterfinal. He did the same thing. Arsenal did not want to win that game. It was
you go up to Anfield, right? And we've been given a hiding at Anfield a lot of times. And like I said, we don't win. I wasn't even expecting to win up there, even if we put our strong side out, right? But the difference is, you go up there and you have a go. You give them a game, and if they wipe the floor with you, you stand back and hold your hands up, and you go. They were such a good side tonight. We gave everything we could give them. We had our strongest 11 out there. We gave it all. Every player walked up that pitch, give it all, and they still beat us. You're beaten by a better side. But when you go over,
Scott, hang on. All I've seen Nicky do is get up and down off his seat. He's in chips, or he looks like he's just about to join. He's had about 3 different outfits on so far. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm enjoying it.
I wish the viewers could see this. He does that. He sits down. That's why I was laughing, because every time he goes, and he gets up and walks away. I don't know what he's doing back there. We've been live for 20. Here he goes. He's back now. Is he going to sit down? Oh, he's got some sweet. Oh, he's putting some ice in his drink. So he's going to fuck off now and put the ice back in the freezer. Let's get the super chats going while Nicky.
One second. To follow up just quickly on what Scott was saying there, the really annoying thing was, look, I know this is Liverpool. I know we haven't won much there over history, but when you look at, we've seen in the last 2 games how potent our attacking threat is when we play the right way. Mm-hmm. And you saw the one chance that Bowen got, the way he rolled that kid centre back. And maybe one of the other handfuls of times that we got forward, we caused problems. The one thing that you do know when you play a Liverpool team like that is if you go at them, you'll get chances at least. Mm-hmm. You'll get chances. Yeah. You will.
You've played football yourself, and like you always come up against a team that you know is better. But if you have a go, you're always going to get chances. We was always going to have chances in that game. And we've got this sort of like fear factor of Anfield because we've only won there once in like 600 years or whatever it is. But like, look at that day. The last team that went to Anfield and give them a go was that Slaven Bilic team.
15-16, yeah.
Even last season when we only lost 1-0 and Bowen missed a penalty, we went that day not thinking we're going to get anything, and we went for it. And we need. And I think the year after that Bilic one, we drew 2-2 there, where we was 2-1 up when Payet scored that free kick. And those were the times. If you actually go at these teams, they're not expecting it. They're expecting you to sit back. And when you do have a go at them, it catches them off guard, and you get chances. And we've got good enough players. I mean, look at Bowen's finish with class.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Top form, but it was pointless. Why keep him on though? And that's what pisses me off, because he talks about rotating and the need to rotate because players are tired. We're 3-0 down. Bowen don't come off. We're 4-0 down. Bowen's not coming off. We're 5-0 down, and you're talking about how close games are. Well, why are you running this match? When we against Fulham and we were 3-0 up, that's what I was thinking. Right now, let's get these players off. Bowen, and start to give him a rest, but he don't, and then he complains about fixture pile up. But
and they was running through us in the middle, and then he took Alvarez off, and they scored 2 in about 5 minutes, didn't they? as soon as they took Alvarez off,
keeps taking him off.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. I'm going to quickly read these super chats because we've got a few stacked up. Thank you very much, everyone, and thanks for the other chats. I've been keeping an eye on the comments, but it's all been coming out. It's therapy. Do you know what I mean? It's therapy for us. You've got to have a vent. and it makes you feel better. You know what I mean? We're all together in this therapy. Matt Rainey, 9.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate it, my friend. Merry Christmas, West Ham Fan TV, Claret and Booze, and to all our fan base. Thoughts on David Moyes' comments the other night, which we just discussed. He needs to F off. Home to OBJ head to head. Oh, OBJ head to head versus Man United. Says played 54, won 8, drawn 13, lost 33. Interesting. That is an interesting W for me. Bowen on the double. I hope you're right, mate.
I'm presuming that's Premier League stats.
Yeah, it's got to be in it. It's got to be Premier League. So next one,
that record against United was quite good.
Well, I swear, Nicky. Hang on, I bet Nicky better have the bollocks of an entrance when he finally comes in because I see him sitting there.
I can't believe what I'm seeing down there. It is.
I feel like when someone comes back at Royal Rumble that you're not expecting.
He's milking it, isn't he? He's got to have an epic entrance there. Yay!
Here he comes.
I don't know whether I'm ready, boys. I've drunk loads of booze already. I'm pissed as a fart.
Good lad.
I'm pissed as a
him
fart.
out.
That's what you want.
Our roll neck's acceptable at Christmas. No. Oh, fuck's sake.
Not when you're sitting indoors, anyway.
It's chilly in here. It's chilly in here.
Yeah.
Hey, look, see, he's seen me with it last Friday, and he's gone, I'll have a bit of that. I'll have a bit of that. Yeah, let's jump on it.
No, let's
get
get more
Danny
sporty jump up.
and we'll talk about your coat on the other day.
Yeah, mate. 10 Hag look. As good as they've got. Fortune's hiding down under TV. A $14.99 Australian dollars, mate. My voice cracked there.
$40, mate.
Merry Christmas from Australia, lads. Nick for Prime Minister. I don't know which one. I'm going to assume it's Claret and Booze Nick and not Nick E.
It's your show. He means Nick Hawkins. That's what.
No, not me, mate. I call it Prime Minister. I can't even run my household, let alone Prime Minister.
Oh, I know that feeling.
The good old Drain Old Hammers, 9.99 super chat says, "Evening, lads. Merry Xmasas." I can't remember where I heard it, but quote for my week was about Paqueta. I think it went, "Fuck me, he's that good. He could find room in a single bed with Gemma Collins." No, I did not know where that was going.
I'll tell you what.
Drain Old Hammers for that.
He must be good to find the space with her in bed.
Tony Ryan 72 with a £19.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Tony. Merry Christmas, lads. Have a beer on me. All the best for the new year. To you too, Tony. Hope you
Thank
have
you very much.
on my bread.
Can I just
really appreciate it?
I've been here listening for. Sorry, I've been here listening to the Moyes chat and the Liverpool chat.
Do you want me to just read Steve?
I've got to ask Nick a question because Nick has been.
Should I just read Steve's super chat? Let me just read it, Nick, before we go down the rabbit hole. Let me just read because it's the last one. And Steve, he's a regular around here. It's good old Steve WHU Bell, 9.99 super chat. Merry Christmas, guys. Hope you all have a cracking time. Been a pleasure to be a part of this channel, top lads, and it's been a pleasure to have you, Steve. We always appreciate you, mate. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great Christmas. All right, now you can grill Nick.
No, I'm not trying to grill Nick. I'm not trying to grill Nick at all. But I've got to ask Nick, as a guy that's taken. See, with Moyes, I was sort of like 50-50 with him. Last year I was very anti-Moyes, and I didn't like the way we approach things. But the trophy sort of papered over the cracks. Do you think last night, because I've done a post-match live show, do you think last night has turned a couple of people the other way? Because you've got two sort of like sections of this Moyes agenda, right? You've got some that just defend him no matter what because he's won a trophy and everything else. Then you've got the guys that just want him out no matter what. And I've got to put you in that bracket.
That's
I'm
fine.
sort of like,
I'll own it. Yeah.
What happened last night, Nick? What happened last night, Nick? It was Thursday last night.
Oh yeah,
he's missed it.
Wednesday night. Yeah. But I've got to say, watching the post-match comments from him, he seemed to me like he was trying to prove a point. I don't know what. And I couldn't work out whether he was trying to prove a point to the board or to the fans, but it seemed like he was trying to prove a point to sort of people that criticise him for not rotating. Them 5 players that came in, apart from the goalkeeper that's been our first choice goalkeeper, they played 1,000 minutes between them. 1,000 minutes, 1,152 minutes, I think it was. I've been critical of him not rotating, but I've also said in the past I was indifferent with him, and I think he deserves a bit more respect. But do you think he lost a few people last night? Because I'll be honest with you, he lost me last night with them post-match comments. Because for people that have been supporting him with the cup, you know, he's doing well in the cups, and that's all we can sort of like aim for. That's a cup that we could have definitely won. And I think, like, if you're going to go full strength again for Arsenal, why wait for 5 days before Christmas with 6,000 people travelling to Liverpool to then sort of wave the white flag before you get there? Because that's what he did. We're comfortable in the league. We're through the Europa. We don't play that competition again till the March. Is it March?
Mm-hmm. March.
Yeah.
So the final of this competition is even before that. So that's not an excuse. I just think I don't know who he was trying to prove a point to there. I really don't.
I don't know. But yeah, I do think absolutely a few people will have turned, especially people that made that journey down there. I mean, we spoke to a couple and we do the phone-ins, didn't we? And there was a couple of guys. Do you know the bloke who had the Moyes out flag, Charlie?
Yeah.
At Fulham. Yeah, he phoned in and he said he goes down there, he goes to all the games, goes with a big crowd. And he said it's pretty split. You've got some people that are Moyes in, some are ambivalent, don't care. I think that's pretty much where most West Ham fans sit. I think most of them sit in the middle. You only really tend to hear the noisy elements at either end. And obviously, I'll hold my hands up. I'm noisy. I'm at one end. But the fact is, when you do what he did there, that was an absolute slap in the face. And I've got to be honest, I cane him for his league, the way he kind of tackles a league with his style of football and everything else. But I did think to myself, do you know what? I started to think at least he'll go for the cups. He's a cup manager.
Yeah.
And when he did that, I mean, it's, you know, I often fly into a rage after a game. But if you look at the one that I did after that game, it was John that took it up. I was shocked, Nick. I didn't expect him to do that. I didn't think he had that level of arrogance, because that was arrogant what he did there. And it was, like you said, 5 days before Christmas, 6,000 fans that have gone up there, spent God knows how much, and to not even have a go. I mean, there's no excuse for it. I think the biggest smack in the face really was how lucky we were going in at 1-0 down and him not making any changes after half time. You're like,
yeah, I tweeted that, mate. He lost me last night. He lost me.
Yeah.
And, you know, I do think he deserves a little bit of credit for what he done, but I also think that, you know, you've got to move on from that.
Yep.
From that attitude to, you know, management nowadays is a lot more than picking a team on a Saturday and you know and all that sort of thing. It's more about, like, you know, the attitude of the players and the science that goes into it. It's about, you know, managing the people rather than the players.
yeah.
And, you know, I look at the likes of Ben Rama, who was, you know, when he was in the side last year, was, you know, very much improved. He was dynamic. You know, he was instrumental in our European Cup win. And he looks like a man lost, a man that just he's waiting to get out of the door. Yeah. And you look at the difference between sort of Klopp, that's been there for sort of 8 years. Moyes has been here for a little while now. And you look at what the players are willing to do who are on the fringe of the squad for Klopp, and the way that they want to apply themselves and, you know, try and be part of a team that's, you know, look, that wasn't the greatest last year, but, you know, there's players there that are willing to run through doors for him. And then you see the players that come in for us. You know, you've got players like Angelo Ogbonna. Look, we're not on the same level as Liverpool in terms of a squad, but, you know, you've got players there that we know that can play. When they've been part of the team and you know, found themselves in starting positions in the past, have done, you know, decent jobs, the best jobs they can do. I just feel like when they're coming out there in them games, when they've, you know, they've played 1,000 minutes of football. That's 100 minutes, 200 minutes each. That's 2 full games and a bit of extra time each. You know, for the whole season. We're halfway through the season. at Christmas.
He threw him under the bus, Nick. He threw those players under the bus.
Yeah, he did. He did. But you've got to manage the squad. You're going to find yourself without the likes of Ben Rama, Kudus. Important players like Aguirre, and you've got to then get to the point where you've got to rely on these players to do the job for you. And it doesn't look like anybody wants to play for him outside the first 11.
Nicky, Nick,
Nick, go on.
Is it time to go?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Cheer up.
Merry
Come, let's
Christmas.
get rid of this.
Merry
Let's get rid
Christmas.
of the Liverpool negativity, mate.
Play a drinking game.
I've got a nice surprise for you in a few minutes. I've got a surprise for you. I've got a surprise for Dan. I've got a surprise for Scott. And I've got a surprise for Nick as well.
Oh, no.
So give it
It's in a few minutes.
And I've got a nice little Christmas present from Ryan to you lot. So,
I look forward to it.
Let's get a bit of positivity. Let's get a bit of positivity going because it's going to be a good. Nick, you finished now?
Okay, positive
Yeah,
thinking.
I'm finished. I'm finished.
Come on,
I'll tell
Nick.
you
be
what,
positive.
positive thinking.
What are you drinking?
Jared Bowen is the bollocks, mate. I tell you what, that's positive, isn't it? Oh, he's on the podcast.
I'll tell you what, though, right?
What a goal he scored, though. It's a
Great
shame he counted for fuck all, but it was a great goal.
In this season, his form, he's kicked on. And the thing is, you worry is when I've seen it so many times when players sign that new deal. You hear about it a lot. Oh, they're going to sign. Are they going to sign? They finally sign it, and then they usually go to shit once they get their deal.
We mean like Antonio?
Yeah, like Antonio, Lanzini. I remember Lanzini was on fire while his contract was being negotiated. As soon as he signed it, he went off the wall. So we've seen it a lot. And I was worried because I think it was like maybe the first game after or a couple of games, he sort of went quiet. But
He's committed now, Dan. Do you not think there's a little bit of, for fuck's sake, I've just signed for 7 years. What are you doing, lads? Come on, pick it up.
yeah,
There's a little bit of that going on.
if he can be that voice. But I think that he's committed so long to us. It doesn't matter who, man. He's going to be here for a while. And you can see he loves the club. Obviously, he's misses and, Danny Dyer, all of that. He's got that connection. And connection with the fans. And I think that's a massive positivity is we've got him and he's got to be one of the best, most informed English players in the league right now.
He's class, absolute class.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Worrying.
Oh, sorry, mate.
What's that?
I was to say it's worrying that Klopp's comments, but listen, boys.
You just said worrying.
This is my Christmas treat to you, right?
Hang on. Whoa. Ryan, 1 minute. What comments from Klopp?
Listen, I'll go on about that after. I've got a nice surprise for you, Nick. Ready?
I'm not. Yeah, go on.
He's a good friend of mine, a good friend of the show. Please welcome the one and only Chesney Hawks.
Hey up, boys. How are you doing?
Merry Christmas, Chesney.
Hello, mate.
Mate, you guys are drinking pints, but I'm in LA and it's like, what is the time? It's 12 o'clock, mate. So I've got my water.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Bloody hell.
It's actually
never too early to start
massive
drinking.
vodka. That's all it is.
Massive.
Yeah,
I need it after that fucking Liverpool display.
Oh,
yeah,
mate.
we was just talking about that, Chesney. It was painful. Did you watch it in LA then? Did you have it?
Yeah, guys.
What time was that? That must have been a similar time, isn't it?
Early. Yeah. On Sunday, I'll be up at 4:30 a.m. watching the Man U game.
I tell you what, they better make it worth it. They better bloody make it worth it.
But listen, Chesney, thank you so much for coming on, mate. I know I messaged you earlier. I put you right on the spot. But yeah, Nicky messaged me. He said, let's see if we can get Chesney to come on and give a little bit of music. And we see you the other week in Butlins, and it was brilliant.
Yeah, you had to deal with these reprobates coming in Butlins.
Right in the front bloody row.
We got there early, mate.
Chesney, I was elbowing women out the way to get to the front.
That's true. Look, we got there early because Chesney's been on the channel a few times. Good friend of mine. I remember him when I was growing up. Absolute baller of a performer. And I've never got to. When we went to Prague, he was in the fan zone, and we fucking missed it because we got caught up doing something. And I always promised Chesney that we'd go and see him, and I've been looking forward to it. So when we bought tickets to Butlins a few months ago now to celebrate a friend of ours' birthday. We see Chesney was there. We said we've got to get there. We've got to make sure we're heard. We've got to make sure we're promoting. And I tell you what what a performance that was. I went to see Bewitched the day before, Chesney. I'm not being funny, mate, but it was a disgrace. It was an absolute disgrace. I walked out of there, and then when you come on, I thought to myself, like, you know, we see your boy before. He saw it was what a performance. And I know you've got something coming up in May in the O2, mate. If you've got tickets left, mate, please let me have some, because I had the time of my life when you was on there.
Oh, boys, you must exactly. You must come down and see that that show. So the 31st of May at the O2 Forum in Kentish Town, and it's the biggest headline gig that I've done since probably the 90s, to be honest with you.
Oh, blimey!
So I need my West Ham contingent, and if I get a good West Ham crowd there, I'll bring out some bubbles or some West Ham.
End of season celebration, eh? End of season celebration. I think that sounds
end of season. It'll be just after we've beaten Liverpool in Dublin. Be perfect.
Yeah, perfect. But Chesney, I've got to say, mate, next time you do Butlins, don't perform on Survival Sunday, because I was in bits. Do it on Saturday.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. That's always a little bit tricky on the Sunday. I prefer to play Butlins on the Friday or Saturday, because they're all up for it and going for it, you know. But by the time it gets to Survival Sunday, as you say, it's a bit sloppy.
Yeah, everyone's hanging. Everyone's hanging. But do you know what? Speaking of music, someone told me this. I was speaking to someone. I didn't realize this, but apparently Bubbles now has the words coming up on the screen when we play Bubbles in the stadium. Yeah. I didn't know this. They've got to start the sing-along lyrics.
Oh, is that right? That's a bit... as if people don't know it.
Yeah,
Dan, that's what
I think there probably are some that don't. That's the thing.
That's what we call karaoke version.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering if it was like, you know, the Disney films back in the day where it has the little dot that goes over the words. Yeah. Like you said, as if people don't know the words. I never look at the screen when Bubbles is on.
No, of course not. You're up, you're singing, you're doing your thing. Exactly. Yeah. Is this the Christmas pint today, boys?
Yeah. I'm already drunk, Disney. I'm not going to be lie. I'm as drunk as I was at Butlins that day.
That's a shout from Miss Amoret, the fabled Friday Night Pint Live too. We did I don't know if you know, Chesley, but we did a live in-person show for Friday Night Pint. And we did an event, and people came to watch it, and we was on stage with Jimmy Walker, and it was a great meetup. So when we ever find out when the date of venue is, if you're available and you're in the country,
we might need you for a bit of music for that, Chesney, because me and Nicky done Boyzone last time and it didn't go down well.
Oh dear,
it really did.
Can't have that.
I'm only joking. Yeah,
Chesney, no, guys, I'd love to do that. Yeah, whenever let me know whenever they are, and if I'm, as I said, if I'm in the country, I'll be there.
It's on May 31st.
If it's before my show, I'll do it.
Do you live in LA, Chesney? Sorry, do you live out in LA?
Right. Yeah, I've been here for 11 years now, but you heard it here first, boys. I'm coming home.
Oh, good man! Good man!
He's coming.
So we'll see you down at London Stadium maybe a bit more often. You'd be a bit more local.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there quite a lot anyway, to be honest with you. But yeah, you'll definitely see me more often, and you'll see my boy all the time. You've met my boy, haven't you, Indy?
Yeah.
What talent that boy is!
Watching Hello, Indy. Yeah.
Oh, is he a performer as well?
Oh, on the guitar, mate. He's an absolute superstar.
They done Purple Rain at Butlins, and it was
wow!
Unreal. Honestly, give me goosebumps now thinking about it. He was unreal. Honestly, he was unreal. How old is he?
He's just turned 18.
Yeah, man.
No, he's special. He's a special
happy belated birthday.
Yeah. Cheers.
Now you can legally, over here, not over there. When you come here, you can legally take him to the pub.
That's why
I had my first pint with him on his birthday. We were in England actually, and all he wanted to do was go to the pub with me and a few mates, a couple of West Ham boys as well, and he wanted to buy me a pint. Bless him.
Nice.
Disney, don't take him up Covent Garden, mate. It's about £12 a pint up there.
Oh, I know, mate. Tell me about it.
Buying you a pint then.
No, that's true. We're gonna have halves.
But Chesney, you up for a bit of a song? You're gonna do it?
Well, I mean, what do you want? A Christmas song?
Whatever, mate.
Go on.
I'm in the studio. I mean, hang on.
Everyone wants a bit of entertainment. Look at Scott, he's buzzing. Graham's missing it and everything. I'm so excited.
Here we go.
Bit of a Christmas song.
Yeah,
Are we
go
too
on.
late to make Christmas number one? I think it's too late. Now,
West
isn't it?
Ham are massive everywhere we go. Or forever blowing bubbles. Or should we go Christmas?
Yeah, go Christmas, and then we'll do bubble.
You got to sing along with me, boys. Are you hanging up the star It's time when every Santa has a home.
The red-nosed reindeer.
It's time on a sleigh. To the fairies keep him sober for the day. Come on, boys.
So here it is, Merry Christmas. Everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun.
Waiting for the family to arrive. You sure you've got Christmas to start?
The old songs are the best, and she's up to rock and roll with the rest. Come on, boys.
So here it is, Merry Christmas. Everybody's having fun.
What would your daddy do if he saw your mom?
Here we go.
Are you hanging up your stockings on the floor? Are you hoping that the snow starts to fall? Do you ride on down the hillside with a buggy you have made? Do you land upon your head and you can say, come on now.
So here it is, Merry Christmas. Everybody's having fun. Look to here it is, Merry Christmas. Everybody's having fun.
Look to the future now. It's only just begun.
Brilliant. Well done. I'll tell you what, the acoustics are like the acoustics in the London Stadium, aren't they? All bouncing around.
I don't think Chesney's going to be inviting us to be his backup singer. To be honest.
Chesney, I've got to say,
That was brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
you look like a pop star. You act like a pop star. You through the judges' houses.
Do you know what the thing is? Because we was all slightly out of sync with it because of the stream.
Yeah,
You're hearing Nicky's coming in late, so it was just.
I had to mute Nicky at one point because he was.
You muted Nicky. Brutal.
Only for a
Oh,
second.
God.
Yeah, if you're coming home next year, mate, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll record a song in a studio and we'll put it out for charity for the Iron Supporting Food Banks.
I love that idea, boys.
Yeah, we'll get all the West Ham YouTubers together and we'll all sing a verse or
That's
something.
a great idea.
I think people will donate to us to not make that record. To be
I
honest.
Not make it, yeah.
I'll tell you what, they won't call us Band-Aid, they call us First Aid.
Very good. That's why you get the big bucks.
That was brilliant.
Yeah,
Oh,
boys.
Boys, I
We've
just
got to have bubbles, in we? We have to have bubbles before Chesney goes. He loves it. Look, that's it. Get your guitar.
Let's not murder it though. Let's listen to it. Go on.
Yeah, go on, Ches. I'll tell you what, we put in big screen.
I'm forever blowing bubbles pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, they reach the sky, and like my dreams, they fade and die. Fortune's always hiding. I looked everywhere. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air.
United!
United!
Oh,
I'm in love.
brilliant.
You're brilliant, Chesney.
There we go. That it was much better when you're by yourself and we're not ruining.
I
Don't go down in-
don't even think we could ruin bubbles, but that was beautiful.
Well, that harmonious version, I think we could, to be honest. 'Cause that was quite beautiful, like you said. But yeah, no, appreciate that so much. Chesney.
No, you're
It's
welcome,
always-
boys. Thanks for
Been put on the
having me on. You know, I watch this you guys all the time, so I feel like you're all. I mean, you're all my mates anyway, but like I see you more than you see me. So you know, and I appreciate what you do for us West Ham fans, and you know, I hope you have me back on at some point.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, we get to see more of you. And like I said, the 31st of May. If we can get a ticket, we'll be there.
Tickets are on sale. Just go to chesneyhawks.com. I need to fill it up. I've got 2,500 people to get in there. So
Let's all do it.
You must not have many left, mate. It's an excellent show you do. I've seen it, and we had the time of our lives in Butlins. Honestly, we had the
you
time of
guys
our
look
lives.
like you were having a good time, actually.
Yeah, we were.
And I
We
saw
really
the
were.
aftermath of it when you got Nicky. You weren't there. I think you were stuck at the bar. But like, I had a few of you guys come backstage and have a quick picture and a quick cuddle. But yeah, you were all a bit worse for wear.
Did
We've
Ryan?
been there for 3 days by then. That's
Did
the
Ryan
thing.
praise Nick? Is that you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
plenty of West Ham knickers.
They were Bridget Jones knickers.
I do these days. I get like the Bridget Jones ones. I do, or even. I do.
Green Street Elite wants to know if you can release that version of Bubbles, if that's possible.
You know what? I've always thought about doing a version of it like that, like a kind of a nice acoustic version like that.
That was lovely.
So yeah, I might just do that. I played it like 3 times when we did the fan zone. That was such fun with the full band.
Yeah, no, I think, well, I think the West Ham fans will be all over that.
Yeah. Well,
It's really like from the Cockney Rejects version. That's like the complete alternative version from the Cockney. Forever blow, we're Bubbles, and you get the nice chill version.
Yeah, I did a nice little acoustic melodic version. Exactly.
It takes you back to the roots of the song. You know, the original song.
Vera Lynn.
It's kind of
Yeah, it's nice to find the soul of the song. It's great.
But no, listen, Chesney, I know you got to shoot because it's late there. But listen, thank you so much, mate. I owe you one for tonight.
Not at all. You don't owe me anything, mate. You don't owe me anything. You boys, it's actually a pleasure to see you. And listen, let's hope that we turn over those Reds on Sunday morning for me. And we're a little bit happier because that was a tragedy the other day, wasn't it? On many levels.
Oh, don't get them started again.
Did you see Ray Winston's rant on Instagram?
Yeah, I did.
He went in, didn't he? Blimey.
He did, and he's friends with Moisey, and he was like, I respect the man, I like the man, but you got it fucking wrong this time.
That's how you know he don't hold back. Proper West Ham, love it.
Yeah, love it. All right, boys, I'll let you carry on with your pint. And oh, look, there's Indy. That's my boy.
He's in.
He's watching.
Indy.
Hey, mate. I knew he was watching at home.
Have a great Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
and happy birthday recently, Indy. Happy birthday for the other day. And you're gonna go get your beauty sleep now. Then
no, it's midday, mate. It's 1 o'clock.
I thought you said it was 12 o'clock at night. Oh,
no, no. Otherwise,
but he's not getting early night because he's up at 4:30.
Oh, it's early. It's early for beauty.
Yeah,
okay,
fair exactly.
Got yeah, because you got the curtains drawn. I thought it was night.
Yeah.
That's because he doesn't want to show off the sun.
Well, actually, it's been raining here the last week, boys, so I wouldn't worry. It's worse here than it is in England right now.
I'll still be there, mate. Trust me, I'd be there in a heartbeat.
100%,
Listen,
100%.
Thank you so much for joining us, mate. Really appreciate it.
I feel privileged.
Come on, you Irons.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons. Thanks for having me on, boys. Happy New Year. I'll see you in 24.
Take care, mate.
Cheers,
Hello, mate.
Bye now.
Oh, wow.
What a
Blimey.
treat! What a treat!
There you
Cheers for
go.
the present,
Christmas
Mike.
song by
Yeah.
Chesney Hawkes, only on West Ham
Hey,
fans.
we butchered
Can I
that.
just say, right? That was my present to you. Now, if there's no strippers coming on, I'm going to be disappointed.
What do you think Nick's doing here? What do you think we got him on for?
Couple more drinks, me and Nicky strip for you. Go on, there you go. That's it, yeah. That's it, yeah.
I gotta say,
I've got me hat on. Oh, that was good, man. That was good.
Should we play?
No, it was a good laugh.
Should we play
And I'm
a
glad
game?
that people was entertained because when we were singing that song, I was dying inside because we were so out of sync. And the rest of us were ruining it.
Yeah, you just got to let the man do his thing and we just need to be quiet. You know?
Gentlemen, like I said earlier on, you're right. If I just bail out for 10 minutes, just got to go and sort out the puppy.
Come
All
back.
right. Back in a minute. Back in a minute.
I don't know where we go from there, to be honest.
I'm drinking
It's
all the
hard-
Christmas
it's hard to
drinks.
top that.
My
You know
missus is
what,
coming in
right?
the door now. I think
He-
she's going to kill me.
You guys seen him at you guys saw him at Skeggy when we was up there. I've seen him a couple of times, and anyone that ain't seen Chesney Hawkes really needs to go and see him because he's such an entertainer. You know, he gets the crowd going. He's so good. He's brilliant. He's one of the last times I went butlins with my brother before he passed, and Chesney was there, and it's one of our best memories together. So you know, it's honestly. Get down there on the 31st of May because the guy can entertain. He really
nice. He's brilliant.
He's the one and only, isn't he?
Yeah, he like. I always knew he was a good singer, but he surprised me how good he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was honestly when he sung "Purple Rain" with his boy. Honestly, it gave me goosebumps. He was that.
I know, mate. I know. We were there at the front. You know, we were like proper fanboys, and you know, he's just.
I'll tell you, I was elbowing Bird out the way, like let me go. Fuck off.
Nicky was fucking doing the okey cokey. He's in out. What's going on with this bloke this evening?
He's not.
You
may
not see it. You may not see it, right?
He's Moisey in, Moyes out. Moisey
True.
and Moyes out. Moisey and Moyes out.
Flip flop. What might I not see, Scott?
Right. Dan, you didn't quite see it, but your mum turned around and said it would be a lovely Mother's Day present.
Yeah, I saw the quote, but I didn't know what she was talking about. I didn't know what would
Take him
be
to
a
see
lovely
Chesney
one.
Hawkes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, fair enough. Yeah, we'll have a look. He didn't tell us where to get the. I'll go on his social media.
ChesneyHawks.com, I think it was, mate.
ChesneyHawks.com.
I believe so.
ChesneyHawks.com. Okay, I'll have a look. Mother's Day. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Get it for Christmas, man. You got to get it for Christmas. Christmas.
Yeah, you're in now. You back? You're in.
Well, I'm in and out. I'm fucking wasted, if I'm honest.
Come in, Nick.
I'm out of beer. I'm going to get some more. I'll be back.
No, I think we should play a drinking game. I think everyone.
You've already lost.
Yeah, but no, we should play. We should play sort of like a parlor game. Maybe like what's that thing that you do when you do the fucking actions and film?
Oh, charades.
Charades. Yeah, charades. Yeah, and we should play charades to see like West Ham. What's going on? Everyone's leaving because we want to play charades. And then if you
no, you know what? They are playing charades. That's the Invisible Man. I'll win.
Oh, fucking hell. I'll have a drink then.
What's going on?
No.
Why is it damn fucked off?
I don't know what's going on. Damn, Scott, what are you doing?
I told you. I said I'm out of beer. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, I thought you said. I didn't realise. I thought you just had a funny turn and win.
My shopping turned up midway through everything.
What?
That's why I dipped
What
out.
did you say?
My
Shopping
shopping.
turned up.
Has anyone heard from Graham?
Nah, I didn't.
I heard he's on a date, mate. That's what I've heard. I don't know. What
He's gone to the Indian with a girl.
Mm.
Well, she
That's
says
it.
it's a girl. It's
That girl.
2023. We don't know. He loves it. I told him to have the hottest curry that they've got.
When was the last time I was fucking battered on here? And I kept on ranting about all sorts of shit.
Last Christmas?
No, I don't think. I think it was end of season. I think we had an end of season thing. But I've give the boys permission tonight to chuck me out if I get too ranty or too unhappy. But I think we. What's going on, man? Fucking hell.
You said you give me permission to kick you out, so I kicked you out.
Yeah. I'm a fucking disgrace. I've got to get up early tomorrow to make content for this fucking channel for Man United, you know what I mean? But what time's the kick-off?
12:30.
Oh, Lord.
Early doors, mate. Early
God
doors.
almighty. Yeah, so should we play a game? Let's play a drinking game. Scott, what you got to drink? What are you drinking?
Beer.
Beer? Well,
Yeah.
what you got?
I'm drinking beer as well.
What's Lawler's got then?
Probably water.
Wait, he's not here, so he's not got water. He can't have water. Right, let's stitch him up. He's not here. Let's stitch him up. We're gonna fucking make him lose every round of this game so he gets pissed as me. Right?
Fuck me, how long we got?
No, we're playing. We're playing. Anyone in the comments that want to play,
you turned up pissed in a turtleneck.
I know. Is this acceptable at Christmas? I bought this earlier on in the year for Christmas specifically.
Oh, fucking hell.
Where's Nick gone? He can come back. He needs to take my place on this channel, I think. He's a much better host than me.
Yeah, look, it'll be 2 minutes, mate. No, I like this, Nicky. I like it when Nicky got Bailey's on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
Is what it is. Someone said
Anyway.
no preview tomorrow at this rate. No preview? You're joking, and yeah, we had a fucking preview for all seasons.
Yeah. All right, don't display. It's Christmas.
Sorry.
Well, anyway,
I'm battered.
I reckon we should bring back a classic tonight. I reckon we should bring back Ask Us Anything. So any questions that come in, just put anything you want. It hasn't got to be about football. It hasn't got to be about who's going to replace David Moyes. And let's have some fun. Let's have some fun questions.
Yeah, I think Ask Us Anything would be a good one. Let's do what's that game called when ask like personal questions, but if you don't want to answer it, you got to have a drink.
Like truth or dare.
Truth or dare. Yeah, truth or dare.
Truth or drink.
Steve said I'm off my nut. I can't even see this chat. I've got to go one eye to see the chat.
Oh, fucking hell.
To be fair though, I've run around like a fucking lunatic today. Honestly,
Yeah,
I've run around.
It's been a mental week. Like fucking the build up to Christmas always is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And there's there's a lot of questions for Ask Us Anything, boys. So
Yeah, Scott, you go on. You're in charge, mate. Start getting them up.
I'm gonna if my computer works properly. Bear with me, mate. Hold on. Here we go. Right, where are we? Where are we? Come on. There we go. Cass Simpson says, "What's your favourite drinking game?"
Do you know what? Right, I don't really play drinking games. I played one drinking game in my life, and that was when I was a bouncer at a university when I was 17. And it was a rugby team. Took a bit of a shine to me because I was a young kid.
No, yeah.
And they took me on tour with them, man, and they played a drinking game with me, and I nearly died. I thought I was going to die, and I don't drink wine because of that.
Fair play, fair play. Do you know what? I used to play Four Kings as a drinking game. Like, yeah, for the life of me, I don't know how to play it anymore. I played it in Amsterdam, and that used to be a quality drinking game. But for the life of me, I can't remember the rules anymore.
Yeah, I used to play blindfolded sausage tasting. I don't know what that was all about, but
Yeah, I used to drop that.
no, but yeah, I think the game we played at Butlins, High Card, was good.
I can't.
But Jack Daniels went in like 10 minutes.
Mate, that's a quick and easy drinking game, that one, isn't it? Penny wants to know, what's your favourite Christmas dessert? When it comes up.
It's got to be a mince pie. Mince pie.
Right?
What are you looking up? Your favourite dessert?
Christmas dessert. I don't know. I like a bit of everything, really. But
to be fair, me and Ryan was talking about this earlier, and I said like desserts are my killer. I like a Christmas dinner. I really like a Christmas dinner, but when it comes to dessert, I want everything. So I end up
like
having
the dessert, but I always look forward to the cheese and biscuits. That's my I like. Don't keep me away from it, mate. Honestly, I can feel like as I just said, cheese and biscuits. I felt my trousers get tighter as I said it.
Do you know what? I love a Christmas pudding. Got to have Christmas pudding at Christmas.
All right, that's
I
his
really
book.
like it.
Nick, that's his
I'll be
book.
honest.
Christmas pudding. That's what I like.
John wants to know favourite gig of all time.
Cheers, Nilks at Butlins a couple of weeks ago.
Westlife 2001 Wembley Arena. Now, do you know what? My favourite, I'd probably say the best concert I've ever been to, and I still was Eminem 2001 at London Arena. Honestly, I'll never forget that because I still am, but I used to love Eminem, and it was his first UK tour. And the London Arena, if everyone ever went there, it was such a small, tight arena, and we was right at the front. And honestly, it was the one where he come out with a chainsaw and he was doing the pills on stage, and he brought out like Ice Cube before, and honestly, it was one of the best I've ever been to.
Mine's got to be probably the Foos. The Foos at the London Stadium was really good. A lot of memories for me for that one, and probably Project Revolution at Milton Keynes with Linkin Park and Jay-Z. That was a nuts. That was.
Truthfully, I think the Foos at Wembley when we went to Wembley.
Oh yeah, and I went to the bar. The only song I fucking knew, they sung it when I went to the bar.
I went to Oasis in 2000, and I was blown away by them.
Do you know what? I still to this day, when people say to me, "Biggest regrets of your life," mine is always Oasis 2000 because Nicky invited me that day, and I can't remember why I couldn't go, but I just couldn't go because Nicky was working like security at that time, and that is one regret.
I was there for that one. It's amazing,
especially at Wembley as well. It was fucking gutted.
Unbelievable day.
Do you know what? I was there when I went to play V Festival the day they broke up. Absolute killer. I waited so long to see them. Never seen them before. They were headlining V Festival at Chelmsford, I think, on the Sunday, and they broke up after doing the Staffordshire one on the Saturday night. Absolute killer that was.
Do you reckon they'll ever make a comeback together?
If the money's right, I think they will.
Yeah, I think they will.
They never liked each other when they was together. I don't know why they've let this go on so long because they never got on. They existed separately for so long, even when they was in the band together. Like, come on, man, just fucking sort it out and get. I think it'd be the biggest comeback of all time.
100%, 100%.
Oh yeah, they'd sell out stadiums all over the world. You know, if they announced 50 nights at Wembley, they'd sell them in a day.
Thing is, I like them both, but they do kind of together. They're the full package, in now. I mean, like Liam's got proper presence on stage, and he's in a big trench coat and that. I remember that. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I think they've got to get together for one last hurrah before they're getting old now. I'm in my 40s. I remember listening to them when I was 10.
Yep.
So yeah,
crazy mate.
Do you remember when they filmed their music video over Millennium Mills? The one with the helicopter.
The old Beckton Gasworks.
The Gasworks. I think we're Gallensies now.
Yeah.
What was that?
I remember that. I remember
the one with the helicopters. I can't think of the name.
What song was that?
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean?
Well, that was filmed in Beckton.
Yeah, it was filmed in the Gasworks.
Bloody hell!
I remember because they closed all the roads off. We was all trying to get there to see them, but couldn't get nowhere near them.
That was the old film set of Full Metal Jacket that they used for that.
When you got
right.
I got that toilet.
Nicky, you gonna answer this one that you put up, Betty Bouncer? No, he's not. Okay, he's gone.
No, I will. I was a bouncer in the days before the licenses, and then I got chucked out.
There we go.
I was terrible.
We've gone from fucking Chesney Hawks and everyone to like the Three Amigos, but
We'll
I
carry
don't know.
on, mate.
Someone just said, "Where's Dan gone?" I don't know where Dan's gone. I don't know if he's had a Connery and he's like on laying on the floor and we're just fucking carrying on. You know what I mean?
He took a phone call, so I'm guessing he'll be back in a minute.
Oh, right.
What's your favourite Christmas snack that you all have that you might be slightly embarrassed by?
Embarrassed by?
Mm.
I'm not embarrassed by any snacks.
Yeah, I don't know.
No,
I'm not embarrassed.
do people still buy them stupid dates that no one eats at Christmas? Do you know when you buy the packs of dates?
Do you know what? I always remember growing up as a kid, and I don't know why. I always see them on the side, but no one ever ate them.
No one eats them. No one eats them.
You remember marzipan fruit?
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I don't mind them though. I don't mind. I like marzipan, so they're all right for me.
Yeah, no.
Right, it's next
I don't know. I can't think of one that.
I heard you say you like Christmas pudding, though, Scott. I can't deal with that.
I love Christmas
pudding. Not for me. Not for me.
We
had this debate earlier on as we're talking about food. Christmas dinner. Everyone loves a Yorkshire pudding on their on a Sunday roast.
Yeah.
But is it the dumb thing at Christmas? I think it takes up too much real estate on the plate when you consider all the other bits and pieces you have.
I had this debate the other year. We done Christmas dinner around our house the other year, right? And like my wife's brother turned up with his own Yorkshire puddings, and I went, well, "What's he doing? You don't have a Yorkshire pudding on a Christmas dinner. Not on a
Christmas dinner. No,
it's a fucking Sunday roast." I said, "Like, no." And I was like, "I ain't having any." I went, "I won't be part of it." And I sat at the end of the table, and I fucking turned me back on them all.
Now, Christmas pudding,
what's your favourite thing from a Christmas dinner that you have? Like one thing, it can either be a meat. So you have like cauliflower cheese, sausage meat stuffing. What's the one? What's your favourite thing that you have on a Christmas dinner?
You know what,
you only have once
I'll
a
be
year.
honest with you. I actually like Brussels.
Me and all.
I actually do like Brussels sprouts.
I do. I love them.
I could eat a bowl of Brussels sprouts. I love them. But yeah,
and cauliflower cheese for me. I love cauliflower cheese.
Mate, I'm with the Perriers. Brussels sprouts. It's the only thing you have at Christmas that you can't have on a Sunday roast for me. And Brussels sprouts, and they are nice.
Pigs in blankets is the only thing. It's the only answer because it's the only thing that you have that's different. It's the only thing that you have that's different. You can have Brussels any time of the year. Yeah, don't wrap sausages in bacon and put it on your Sunday dinner.
Yeah, but you don't have Brussels any time other than that. You just have Brussels at Christmas.
Who don't?
I don't.
It's
the only time I see a Brussels sprout is Christmas time.
Someone just said
I hate Brussels
sprouts. Red cabbage, but that's Boxing Day for me. Red cabbage.
Red cabbage? No.
That's it. Red cabbage.
My Christmas dinners have been very, I don't know, like old school because my granddad used to cook a lot of them. He's been gone for a little while now. So like, yeah, I just like the pigs in blankets because I would never get a sausage on a Sunday dinner. No way.
Rory just said there, sausage meat. Oh.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, like it's the time to have the things that you don't have during the year. Like you don't turn up with Yorkshire pudding, that's for sure.
No.
Because that's filler. That's what you get to fill the plate. I like the roast potatoes because they're a little bit. I don't know. They're a little bit special on Christmas. But I don't know, man. I just like the turkey. I'll be honest. I just like the turkey. What you got, Dan? What you got? A shot?
Do you know what I miss? Because me mum passed away ages ago, and she always done our Christmas dinner. And I always remember, not had it since, bread and dripping after sort of later in the evening. Honestly, I'm not joking.
That reminds me of my nan used to go on about
love that.
Do you know what? People that don't know what that is, Nick.
That's like proper old school East End, that is, isn't it?
Honestly,
what it is, it's horrible. Tell it, Nick. Explain it.
It looks like a pint. It always got put in a glass. So you had a head on it, which is where the fat settles on top, and you got the jelly underneath. So you butter the bread with the it's fucking bad. But honestly, it was lovely. I loved it.
Bread.
I know, but like Nicky said, once a year. Exactly. Can't do any harm.
Treat yourself.
He's a vegan anyway. He has a fucking cabbage for his fucking turkey.
Oh, shut up! I'm going to send you pictures of my roast dinner.
Favorite Christmas movie? Come on, this is
easy
one.
Well,
listen, before you get into that, I'm going to say Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm going to leave you with that.
Yes, Dan.
Right.
Yes,
Muppet. That's the one.
Ken
Every
knows.
Christmas.
That's
Without
two
that.
wankers.
That or Scrooge. That or Scrooge. Scrooge
No,
with
Scrooge.
Bill Murray.
Scrooge is the Christmas Eve movie.
Yes.
Scrooge
yeah,
Christmas
yeah.
Eve. Muppets
You know
Christmas
what,
Carol
right?
Christmas Day.
I can't fucking National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation for
It's
me
amazing.
is
Great
the
movie.
best Christmas film of all time.
Yeah.
It never. I've watched it hundreds, thousands of times, and I'll never get bored of it. I love Chevy Chase, and that film for me is brilliant. And I agree with Scrooge as well. Scrooge is a brilliant film.
Bill Murray, legend. But
I've got to say this.
anyway,
right?
listen. Happy
don't know
Christmas, everyone. I love you all.
See you later, Dan.
It's been a brilliant show so
you
far,
going?
but you're going to make it even
You've
better
got
now.
for 20
I'm
minutes.
going.
We can. You're one of them people, ain't you? That's found something else to do.
No, I always said to you before. I've given you more time than I said I'd be on for 35 minutes. I've
Thank you,
I've
mate.
done overtime.
Merry Christmas to
But
you,
yeah,
son.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you all for
Merry
your
Christmas,
support
mate.
over the years, and thank you. But stay with these guys because the show's gonna kick on and go from there. Some great questions, but I love you all, Nick. Great to have you on, mate. Great to have you on the show. Appreciate you. Love your stuff. And
Cheers, mate.
He's taking up too much time now.
Well,
No, but I haven't asked my question yet. The question's more important than him saying goodbye to everyone, you know? Merry Christmas, Dan. Honestly, I love you. I love you, mate. Do you know what? I never thought of this as a Christmas film until today. And it's sort of a Christmas film because it bleeds into the two holidays because they got Thanksgiving, didn't they? Like a month before Christmas. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That I never thought of that as a Christmas film until
It could be.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I looked at it on my on the Prime. It's on the Prime Christmas list, and I never thought of it as a Christmas film. But I watched it today, and I thought it was brilliant. It's genius, comedy genius. But other than that, maybe Gremlins and maybe National Lampoon.
Gremlins! I haven't watched that for years. Gremlins, yeah.
That's a definite Christmas film.
Is Ghostbusters 2 a Christmas film?
No.
Sit around Christmas.
I don't know.
This is the Die Hard debate.
But if Die Hard's a Christmas film, if it's set around Christmas, then
Die Hard is definitely a Christmas film.
They haven't made a good fucking Christmas film since the 80s. I watched this film called Genie yesterday that was meant to be a Christmas film. It was awful. It was fucking awful.
New one.
You know why they ain't? Because no one's got a sense of humour anymore. That's why.
Bad Santa. That's a good shout.
That's good. You seen that Office Christmas Party? That's all right.
I ain't seen that one yet.
That's decent.
Yeah,
That's on Netflix. It's funny. Yeah. It's
you
good.
You know what though?
That
One
is
film I do like, and this is probably like, I love Love Actually. I think that's a brilliant Christmas film.
Do you know what? That is quite a good Christmas
We
film.
watched that the other night, and I'll tell you what I watched last night. I watched it on my own as well. That's sad and depressing. Am I? Have you ever seen Last Christmas?
Last
Remind me.
Christmas.
It was it's the George Michael one. It's set in England. It's the girl.
No, never seen that.
That's a brilliant Christmas film, honestly. But yeah, Jingle All the Way as well. Put them cookies down.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's one of the most worst acted movie ever.
Oh, shut up!
It's awful. Absolutely awful.
Trading Places. Yeah, mate. That's
Trading Places.
Christmas film. Yeah, it bleeds into Christmas, doesn't it? I don't know, man. There's films that you don't normally think of at Christmas. I love Home Alone. I think Home Alone is classic.
I've watched all them.
Funny enough, I was watching that with the boys earlier on. I think we watched Home Alone and then watched what's the one with Fred? No, not Fred Claus. Fred Claus. That one. We watched that one.
Yeah.
Fred Claus. Yeah.
Not Johnny Vaughan. What's his name?
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn. Imagine Johnny Vaughan with Fred Claus.
It's a bit sad for me because my boy's my youngest is 14 and he's got to that age now where he's too cool to watch Christmas films now. So it's just me and the missus watching them.
He'll learn, mate. He'll learn. You never.
Bit of a shame. Bit of a shame.
It's great fun. I literally finished work, come straight home. Home Alone was the first one. Fred Claus was the second one.
It's a mad time of year, Christmas, isn't it? Because like earlier, I don't even know if I should be fucking saying this story, but earlier I was walking and fucking around, and I bumped into an ex that I ain't seen for ages. Honestly, it's been a couple.
Depends what happened, Ryan. Whether you should tell this story.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I ain't seen her, and like obviously like we fucking started chatting and that, and it's fucking. But I ain't seen her since like fucking. Last time I see her was Brighton away a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
and, like it was fucking. It's mad, isn't it? And like I know, like I'm out. Listen, I'm happily married, but look, you can't help who you like meet and like fall in love with at some point. And yeah, she was a big part of my life, and you know, she's actually back tonight.
hey, positive Pat.
I know.
Did you find that in the loft?
My in-laws are fucking probably watching that, thinking, "What the fuck's he going on about?"
I thought you was digging yourself a hole there for a minute.
Oh, mate, no, listen, Pat is back. I took her to Butlins and I forgot to put her on, but
do you know what?
She's my mate.
We need positive Pat at the moment. I think we do need her.
Could you imagine, Nick, David Moyes on the touchline wearing that?
No, no, absolutely fucking not.
Right, moving on to the next one. Scott Ward says, Snog, marry, avoid Karen Bailey, Pat Butcher, and Gemma Collins.
Bitch.
I'll avoid Gemma Collins at all costs. I'd marry Pat because she makes a lovely Sunday roast. And yeah, I'll get hold of Karen.
I'm with him.
I don't know. I think I'd rather I'd avoid Karen Brady. I think Gemma Collins would have to be at the top.
Nick, you say that. Wait, you get in a meeting with her. You change your mind then, son. Don't worry about that.
What is she like in person?
Yeah, she's not bad.
She's nice. She's surprisingly nice, but
is she, well, do you think it's an act though? Do you think it's an act though?
Yeah, of course.
Do you think she knows how to manipulate people?
Mate, she knows how to play you like a fiddle.
Yeah,
honestly, she knows how to play you like a fiddle, and she's lovely, but she shows you what she wants to show you. And at the end of the day, I've always said this about Karen Brady. People criticize Karen Brady, but she's there to do a business side of the job. She's not there to care about the fans or the football or anything. She's there to do business, and she does her job well. Or not for us. It's not for our benefit, but it's for.
Well, let's face it. We hate that fucking place, but she structured the deal of the century, didn't she? For us, there.
Yeah, she lied
when you look at it,
teeth, mate. But that's what successful millionaire business people do.
How do you reckon Boris, old Bojo, signed that off? Couple of gentlemen's clubs, do you reckon? I reckon there was.
Yeah,
it must have been. There must have been, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
I'd love to have seen Boris in that situation as well. I'd love to see Boris Johnson and Sullivan together. That's a comedy.
Yeah, 100%.
And then and they're like,
have you ever sort of spoke to Sullivan or?
Do you know what the funny thing was, right? When we was at Upton Park, they used to park in the car park there, and you used to see them quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we used to say hello to them, like Sullivan and Gold as well. And me and Dan went to a couple of fan forums, and David Gold was there. And we spoke to him. He was like, that was always good. Like I think when we left Upton Park and they lost that sort of mixing with the crowd, you know what I mean? Now they go under the fucking thing, you never see them. But Upton Park, they had to walk through. And but they was all right. Like, always come across. I think David Gold comes across more as a West Ham fan, and he loved the football club. I was lucky enough to have a few chats with him, and he was all right.
I mean, we've got a great memory of David Gold. When my dad, when he had cancer, it was literally the last game that he could go to. My brother reached out. This was when we was at Upton Park, and they literally got us into an executive box, all expenses paid. He couldn't walk. My dad, so they got us parked up, and David Gold came in at half time. We weren't expecting it. And my dad was in the toilet, and he came in. He said, "I've come to see Billy," and we was sorry, Mr. Gold, he's in the toilet. We'll pass on your message. He said, no, I'll wait. I've come to see Billy. And he waited for 10 minutes. My dad was in there for ages. And he came out, and my dad couldn't talk. He had he got throat cancer, and he couldn't talk, but he wanted to. And he was so happy to meet him, and he wrote down a message on a bit of paper, basically saying thank you, or I can't remember what he said. And David Gold sort of read it, put his glasses on, read it, and said, "Thank you, Billy. That means an awful lot." He said, "I'll cherish that." And he put it in his pocket, gave him a cuddle, and that was just honestly such a nice touch. But when you look at what's happened since we've moved, I think there's always going to be this stigma around that stadium move, and it's a bit of a weird one because we're never going to forgive them. We're not. But when you look at us potentially selling, how do you lot feel about, honestly, as bad as they are and as bad as they've been, would you like sort of Qatari ownership or something like that? How do you feel about it?
I was thinking about this today because I'm sure that somebody posted something online and I read it. It had quite a lot of shares and stuff. And it was basically a Moyes quote saying about, the approaching the game in on Saturday tomorrow, saying like, we can't compete unless we get like a Far East owner because the game is gone so far. Look, I don't think that Mr. Sullivan was totally genuine in his approach to buying the club, but you have to give him a little bit of credit in the fact that he was there to pick up the pieces when we could have been like a Wigan or a Birmingham or who else has gone down to League Two, Bradford or someone like that. We could have been like that. We could have been, we had a very old sort of ground. Look, he's been intelligent in the way he's approached the London Stadium. He's been, I think, a little bit disingenuous in his approach for it. But you've got to say, if now football's changed so much, even since then, since that time when we moved, there's been so much sort of investment from Far East and places that want to build these sort of super club and sort of profit earners and it's not like it used to be. You look back to 92, 93 when Blackburn won the league. It was a guy that grew up in Blackburn, that done well for himself, that made a few million quid, that chucked 5 or 6 million quid at the Premier League. He bought Alan Shearer for sort of like £2 million. Now he's talking about £100 million for basic standard players. Not I wouldn't say match winners. People like Jack Grealish just to fill the squad, and you've got to be able to fund that sort of shit. I don't think that Sullivan's there, but he's what he's done is he's put himself in a good position and a good bargaining position to be able to market West Ham, which I think he's done well. But at the end of the day, we was all criticising Sullivan when we moved, and since then for not investing. But he's put us in a good position to perhaps be taken over by Qatari ownership.
Thing is,
I feel like that's the only way we can.
Are you worried about what happens after that though?
Yeah, of course, because it becomes what I've. To be fair, it becomes what I've seen it become in the last 5 or 6 years, and that's a tourist trap. Same as Chelsea. They give up their soul 20 years ago, and they bought all of their success. Before Chelsea was bought by Abramovich and took that sort of Russian sort of blood money, I guess.
Yeah,
it was a similar club to us, and we've seen them buy that. But the problem is that as the seasons go on, and as the Premier League becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and more money is involved, it's becoming a job of major companies to run these and to promote the brands. That's what it's becoming, a marketing ploy by everybody. And if you're not owned by someone like that, you're going to get left behind. I think
that's to win it. But I mean, like, because I'll go through stages. I'll go through stages with it.
Like, do you see, like, Arsenal have done it in a different way? They've got the history behind them. But long term, do you see Arsenal, unless they get taken over by a multi-billionaire sort of Saudi owner or someone like that, do you see them competing with the likes of Newcastle, who've got
No.
the money to
No.
invest in it long term? You know, the likes of even like, well, it's not even Man United. Man United were so dominant for so many years, but it just shows you how much the brand and what makes you competitive is sort of shifted to, because they can't even get anywhere near it. They're the biggest club in the world. They earn the most money in the world football, biggest club in world football by far, and they're nowhere near where they should be.
But the thing is for me though, Nick, like like I said, I'll fluctuate. I'll go through phases where I want Sullivan out at all costs, but then when I look at it, I look at the investment that they're putting over the last sort of few years, because I'll get wrongly labelled entitled. I think people think that I moan about Moyes because I want to win the league. I don't. I just want West Ham. I'm an old fart fan. I'm more of a I want good football over everything else. That's kind of what I want. If we was to have what Sullivan's done in the last 3.5 years, where he's put all that money in, you know, and we had a manager that was giving us decent football, and fair enough, we weren't, you know, top 6 or top 7, but we was getting 8th or 9th, but we was playing good football, we was enjoying it, we was having some good memorable games, we was going to Liverpool and causing a surprise like we used to every now and then. I'd be happy. I would be. I don't want to get rid of David Moyes because I think we're going to win the league if he goes. That isn't the reason I want him to go. I want him to go because I think he's anti-West Ham with the way that he approaches things. And that game the other day, sorry to go back to it, that just typifies that. We're all about going out and having a go, at teams, and I can't tolerate that. I can't.
No, I agree, mate. I mean, we all grew up watching the same West Ham, and you'd always go into a season where you'd get that little home win against United or a draw against United, and you'd be happy taking points off of the bigger teams. That was what West Ham was about, you know. And the thing is with like Sullivan, like if he sells the club tomorrow, he's gonna leave the club in a better situation than when he picked it up. I mean, from a business point of view, from a 35,000 seater stadium in Upton Park, 65,000 seater in Stratford with a fan base, it's like any potential buyers out there will look at that and think you've got a London club, big fan base, big stadium, whatever we think about it, and they're going to love that. But I'm with you. Like I sort of don't want to go down that route because I think once we do go down that route, I think we've seen how bad it's been since we've moved to the London Stadium. I think if we go down that route, then the old sort of West Ham fans will sort of fade out and just won't be there.
Absolutely. And that's what I mean. You're seeing it now. And I think you're kind of seeing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not branding all these kind of Moyes, really staunch Moyes in people this way. But I think it's the other way around. I think it's almost them that are the glory hunters because they're willing to sell their soul and sacrifice everything because they think he'll win and they think he'll do this and do that. And I don't know. I just want I think if you go down the Qatari route, you really, really are selling you're losing your identity altogether. It's a big risk, but at the end of the day, we can't control it. And like Nicky says, it probably is the only way that you can go. We've moved into this stadium. We all kind of probably bought into it because we wanted to compete with the Arsenals and the Tottenhams. And you can't go half baked at it. I think you've either got to go all in or all out, haven't you?
Yeah, to be fair, though, Nick, I only bought into the London Stadium because Ray Winston done the voiceover for the season ticket thing. That told me.
I had someone in my Twitter feed the other day saying the only reason we sell out the stadium is because we offer such cheap seats and such cheap tickets.
Rubbish.
And like I had to say, like, you know, you can't really say. I think we've got good enough support, but I would say this, right? Since we've got their aim of what they want to get to the stadium has changed a lot, and that's what when I look at the Tottenham Hotspur these stadiums, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is a fantastic stadium. You know, to go there as a fan, it's a fantastic experience.
Full of wankers, though.
Full of wankers, yeah, absolutely full of wankers. But like, as an old school fan, what do I prefer going to? Do I prefer going to somewhere like Burnley, where it's an old school, like, you know, built in the 20s, you know, old school stadium where it still generates atmosphere. It's still got the old school vibe to it. Or Tottenham. I've got to say Burnley.
Mate, I'll get jealous when I go to Palace. I've been to Palace away the last 2-3 years.
Let's be honest.
Oh, man, you stand at the back there, you're in trouble. But...
It's about
but you know what I mean. It's that old-fashioned sort of stadium. I like it. Spit and sawdust. I like it.
It's what you go football for. Right? What do you look at football for? Do you go football to be entertained? Do you go football to watch your team win? You know, do you go football for the atmosphere? Because don't get me wrong, I like watching good football. You know, I love watching good football because you appreciate footballers, you appreciate the quality and the class that they've got. You know, we love watching it. But at the end of the day, at West Ham, will that win you stuff? Probably not. You know, do I want to see West Ham finishing mid-table all the time and get into a semi-final and playing entertaining football?
But Scott, what about with this group of players that we've got now? We've got a better level of playing now than we've had before.
And that's it. This manager has took this group of players as far as he can take them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the problem. We haven't got the right manager that fits the players that we've got. These players have got so much more potential. But would I take winning 1-0 every week and playing shit football? I would, because at the end of the day, there's a trophy at the end of it. And this is the thing. We waited 43, for me personally, 43 years. I was born in 1980. I weren't born before we won the FA Cup, but I waited 43 years for a trophy. I want to see West Ham competing for trophies, not the Premier League. I ain't deluded to realise that the money's there. We're not going to compete for the Premier League. We had our opportunity to win the Premier League.
Well, don't you feel that's what it's about being West Ham, is that we're not expected to win trophies every season, and when we do, it means so much.
Exactly, that's it. But I don't care how we do it, so long as we do it.
Winning that Conference League, whatever people think about it, that moment will stay with me for the rest. It was
magical. It was magical. It was.
I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I can remember where I was when Bowen scored that goal, and I can remember the words I said to Graham after we scored.
Listen, I was lucky enough to be standing behind that goal when Bowen went through 1-on-1 and he bobbled that in, and I will never forget that moment for the rest of my life. You take away the birth of your kids and your wedding day and all that. Them memories are separate. Like they are unless you love football, you won't understand. Honestly, you will not understand.
Yeah, that's it. And but that's the thing. It's your age. You know, it's different age groups look at things completely differently. It's what we were saying with that Liverpool game. You know, our generation are fuming, and probably some of the younger generation are fuming the fact that we didn't go for it with that.
The thing is,
there's other people that look at the Premier League as a be all and end all. You need to be in the Premier League. You need to be in the Premier League. You don't need to be in the fucking Premier League.
The thing is, I'll say as well, Scott, is like you look at Man City, like when they first got their money, when they won their first FA Cup, right? You look at their fans' reaction then when they won their first Premier League title. You go fast forward now, when they won the Champions League, their fans are so used to winning now. Yep. It don't mean that. Obviously, it means saying to them. But then look at us. If we won the FA Cup this season, it would be mental.
It'd be massive.
Big time. If you gave me the choice of the Carabao Cup at Wembley, and I know you probably disagree with me, or the Europa League, I would take a domestic cup at Wembley. I honestly would. I really would. It'd mean everything to me.
I'm not fussed about playing Champions League football.
No.
You know, this is the thing. People see the Champions League as be all and end all. Newcastle, it's good to be in the Champions League. What's the point being here if you can't compete?
So it's like we sacrificed that game on Wednesday for we might leapfrog Man United for a couple of weeks. What's the fucking point?
Yeah, and that's what it all boils down to. I'd rather go all out, win a trophy, a domestic trophy, than have the opportunity of, because you could qualify for Europe winning a domestic trophy.
Yeah,
you know, that's fine. I'd rather that than finish fourth. I don't give a shit about playing in Champions League. We get there, it's great, it's fantastic. But what is the fucking point unless you can compete? And if you ain't got Qatari money or Saudi money, you ain't going to compete.
No.
Well, Newcastle got Saudi money. They've spent a lot of money. They at the end of the day, they limped out the competition.
All of a sudden, they've got the Saudi money, and all of a sudden, FFPs come to play. Do you know what I mean? When Chelsea had all the money, it's fine. When Man City had all the money, it's fine. Now Newcastle got this money. Oh, hold on, you can't be going past these regulations and all this. You know what I mean? And the thing is, what makes it even worse is the amount of people that scream about that takeover by the Saudis.
the
You know,
I think the biggest joke is that Everton got stung, and you got the likes of Man City and Chelsea, Man City and Chelsea doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Mental. It's crazy.
Honestly, like I would give anything just to see West Ham at Wembley, an FA Cup final, and win it, and just imagine how it would be like on my wall there, like the last team that done it in 1980, and we celebrate it. Like to be part of that. I mean, we all grew up seeing the photos from 1980 and 79 and that, and the street. Like you see what the parade was like after we won the European Cup. The FA Cup for me is the pinnacle. That's what I want to win. The FA Cup.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know how people, like some people, look at it now as it ain't as big, but for me, that is the biggest cup competition out there.
How can it not be though? When you think people talk about the Premier League as being the biggest club in the world, those two are our domestic cups. They're massive. They're fucking huge competitions.
I think the demise of the FA Cup has been because of the Premier League, because it's the world's best domestic cup competition, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think having the semi-finals at Wembley as well was killed it.
Yeah, but I think the Premier League and the FA have done everything they can to kill the FA Cup because it doesn't generate any money for them.
I don't think the FA, Nick. I think the Premier League has killed the FA Cup.
Well, yeah, the Premier League. Yeah, the FA obviously want to. Obviously, it is sort of crucial to them, really.
Yeah, it's their trophy.
But I think that the old Wembley, when they got the new Wembley, and it took so long, and they lost so much money, and they decided to put the semi-finals there. It takes us the day away.
Of course, it does.
But then you had like the final on Premier League days, like in the last few years, where it would be like you'd have all the Premier League games, then you'd have the FA Cup final at 5:30. No, it should be it's the showpiece. It's a showpiece.
The whole thing about the FA Cup was you get to Wembley to play the final. When the semi-finals are at Wembley, it takes the sting out of it. Because I think when players lose now, they think, "Oh, we've played at Wembley. Don't give a shit."
Wembley, yeah, of course.
The whole point was getting to Wembley, and if I remember rightly, I think the last time I watched an FA Cup final where they had a proper build-up during the whole day was when we played Liverpool at the Millennium Stadium.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But they built up. But when I was younger, it didn't matter who was in the FA Cup final. You knew that Saturday, 3:00, all day, when they used to follow the team coaches going to
it was a full day event.
Everyone watched it.
Do you know there was more of a fuss made about the FA Cup over here watching that sort of generically among British fan base than what you get now with the Champions League final. There was more. It meant everything. And like you said, going back to 2000, what a place that was to have a final in Cardiff. It was great, wasn't it? It still means. I think it means everything to the fans, but unfortunately, it all comes down to money. And you get European qualification off the back of them if you win them. You win the EFL Cup, you got European qualification now.
But the big boys don't care about that, mate. That's the problem.
But that's the thing. Then the big boys, the big boys can play their weekend teams. Like you say, the big boys don't care. The League Cup has been won by Man City. Exactly.
Pep did.
Mourinho, the first thing he done was win a trophy with Man United. It weren't the best trophy, but he knows at the start of that next season, you've got that trophy sitting in front of your team. When you have your team photo, it means a lot. It means something to the fans.
The pressure that must take off of the team that are chasing anything, especially if you're chasing major honours, to get that trophy one in for us, to get that trophy one in February, we could just fucking. I mean, I'm not being funny. The Europa then it's a free hit. We'll qualify for Europe.
That's what I'm saying.
We could literally go full into it.
We're in no danger of relegation this season, so
none.
Even if we'd have gone 10 games unbeaten, 10 games not without a win in the Premier League, we still wouldn't have been in the relegation battle.
No,
because there's too much shit down there. So that's the only thing that I'm gutted with. But listen,
but do you buy all that shit though? Like, obviously we don't buy what Moyes says, but you get fans echoing the same thing. Oh, it's Liverpool. They're backing up his decision. We would never have won. It's a football match. You're playing their B team. Like I said, they had a fucking kid at centre back. Bowen got one chance, span him, scored. You have a go at them, you're going to get chances. Fortune does favour the Brave in Cup competitions. It does. Yeah. We almost got beat by Kidderminster Harriers. That fucking Declan Rice saved us, didn't he?
I honestly think it was I honestly think the winner of our game would have a fantastic opportunity of
I think that's the winner. We'd have beat Fulham over 2 legs, Nick. We'd have beat Fulham over 2 legs.
I'm with you. I think whoever won last night,
Yeah.
whoever won that game the other night is the winner.
Because Chelsea is shit. They're shit this year. They are.
Yeah, but you know what? They'll probably fucking scrape through and win that cup, and just that'll give Pochettino a little fucking.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what it'd be though. It'd be that Liverpool win the game this weekend, and then they're tussling for the top position, and they think they can win the whole thing. Man City are faltering. Arsenal are, they're in the new year. February, March time, they're going to be fucking faltering. They're going to be, in trouble in terms of like depth and that. And they'll think, we'll concentrate on the Premier League, and they'll give like they'll play the same team that they played against us in the final, and Chelsea will play with the fucking the 1.2 billion pounds worth of talent that they've bought. No, I'm saying it's great talent, but if they can't win the fucking Carabao Cup, it's fucking disgrace. Like, it gives no one else a chance.
I think City obviously won the World Club Championship tonight, so that's 5 trophies in a calendar year, which is mad. And we all know that City's got that 10-15 game unbeaten run in them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I know they've not been great the last few weeks, and that is
you can never write them off, can you? No, you can't write them off.
They'll bounce back, and even though they've had a little dip in form, what are they only 6 points off the top or something like that? So,
like you just said, they can literally start winning and not stop. They just go to the end.
We know they're great in them, but it's interesting this season because Arsenal, for me, and look, I love Declan Rice as a West Ham player, but I really don't want to see him win the league with Arsenal. I really don't. I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Nah, honestly, I don't.
Think they will. Do you know what? Right, it really pains me to say this because I cannot stand him. For me, Arsenal are now worse than Spurs, but I'll see them winning it. City have messed up. I don't think anyone's going to stop Arsenal now.
The thing is, though, City are at bad form. Arsenal, Villa, I'd put in there. Liverpool, they haven't hit a bad run yet. And when they hit a bad run, that's when City will just win and win.
I think City are too far behind now, mate. Nah. I think if anyone's going to win it, it's Liverpool, and that pains me. Like, other than Arsenal and Liverpool, there's 3 football clubs I never want to see ever win the Premier League again, and that's Arsenal, Liverpool, and Tottenham.
I do think they'll fall off. I do. I really do. Do you know what annoys me about this Declan Rice thing with Arsenal fans? They come out and they say, we've made him better. This, no, you haven't. I'm not being funny. If you look at it logically, he was our best player, West Ham. Well, he's gone into Arsenal. Tell me a player that's better than he's the best player at Arsenal. Yeah. So they say iron sharpens iron. He's the best player. He's the best player there by a country mile.
That's why I was glad when Declan Rice come out in the interview with Rio and he said, I was doing this at West Ham. That's what I thought. Like, you know what I mean? Fair play to him for saying that. He said, Rio, I was doing this at West Ham, but I didn't get noticed. Like, so he's just gone there, played his same game. And now, listen, Arsenal are a bigger football club than us. We know that. And they are a step up. But I just can't. He won't be there for 2 years.
If they don't win stuff, he won't be there for 2 years. He's ambitious, isn't he?
Even if they do, I don't think he will. I think he's destined for better things. I think this is. Yeah. I said this when he left. Arsenal's a stepping stone for that boy.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. He's not improved. Like you said, he's doing exactly what he done for us. For them, they're now raving about it because he's a darling.
I really didn't want him to go there. I really didn't want him to go there. I really didn't.
He's improved Arsenal. He's improved Arsenal.
Yeah, but that's the difference, right? Arsenal's not improved him. He's improved Arsenal, as we knew he would do. You think we go back to this time last year, Arsenal fans were saying, "Oh, he ain't fit enough to lace Partey's boots." This is them their fan base. He ain't fit enough to lace Partey's boots. Look, we said it all the way back then. That boy is too good for Arsenal. Far too good for Arsenal, and he'll go on to better things.
The thing is with Declan, and I've said this for a long time, and you remember at the beginning of the season, and I'm going to be doing some content with them guys on the 27th because we play each other for the first time in the league.
I don't know how you keep your temper with him.
Mate, I'll tell you, I've spoke to Ryan about that, but this is the attitude of the Arsenal fans was, you know, you don't know what you're talking about when you're talking about world class. You haven't seen world class at West Ham, you know. The standard that you've seen, you could, mate, we've gone from seeing, you know, world class strikers, you know, second in the Ballon d'Or, Frank Lampard, Rio Ferdinand, Jermaine Defoe, Michael Carrick, Joe Cole, Glenn Johnson, who went on to have a fantastic career. You know, how they can say we haven't seen world class? We've produced world class. You know, John Terry was with us. You know, he learned his trade with us. We've produced world class. We know what world class is. You know, as a fan base, and we've seen what it takes to make it at that level, because we've seen them at their rawest, and we've seen the you know, not necessarily the best side we've ever had in terms of management and all that, but you know, we see what world class is as the rawest part of it. I've said this for ages, and Arsenal fans battered me and other fans. You don't know what world class is, because Declan Rice is nowhere near world class. Declan Rice, in terms of his development with us, was the best I've ever seen. I'm telling you now, was the best.
I can't disagree. I mean, consistently great. Consistently great. Yeah.
Declan Rice is the only world class player at Arsenal. Let's have it right.
He is 100%. No, he is. I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you what. Who would you have out of Kudus? Who would you have out of Kudus and Saka? Would you swap? Would you swap Kudus and Saka?
Because he produces more for us.
Exactly.
Let's look at the stats, right? Let's look at the stats and be real. Look at Saka's stats and look at Bowen's stats.
There you go.
Tell me who's the better player.
Yeah.
Because Bowen's doing it at West Ham, not at an Arsenal that's got overall a better team.
Oh,
Bowen's doing it at West Ham that's got not so good a team.
Yeah, I just see that Sheffield United went 1-0 up in the 87th minute. Archer scored, my cousin, and Villa just equalised in the 98th minute.
But talking about Villa, right? But talking about Villa, right? Talking about Villa, this is what really pisses me off, because, and this is why I'm getting so aerated. Look, if we had the squad of Sheffield United and we was playing a load, like, I wouldn't moan, because we'd have a shit team. Mm-hmm. What really frustrates me is when you look at the talent that we all know that we've got, and you look at Emery, what he's done with Aston Villa, who player for player are not better than us. You look at that, and it just feels like we're wasting an opportunity by hanging on. What if, you know, the likes of Paqueta and Kudus fuck off in the summer when Moyes goes? You got to. It feels like a waste to me.
I'll be honest.
It does.
I think they've already got someone lined up.
It just feels like, I know, but it's to burn a season though.
Yeah, I know, but. And when you look at the situation we're in now, we're still in a good position to have a good season, you know. So, but if it means seeing Moyes out to the summer, and then we get him someone like, I know we've been linked with Xabi Alonso. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I'm honestly, I'm really hopeful for it. I don't. It's completely and utterly like a guess.
Unless Real Madrid come in for him, I think he'll be at West Ham.
If you was Xabi Alonso, he's been a top flight manager for what? This is his first full season. So, 18 months. The amount of managers that go too soon, we've seen it before. They go to these top clubs. If it fails, Real Madrid are ruthless. They get rid of him straight away.
Yeah, I agree.
He's destined for the lot. Why not? When you think about it, you're Xabi Alonso. You go from Leverkusen to West Ham. We're a similar size club, but in a far superior league.
It's a project, isn't it?
You do the same there with Starton, who you've worked with before, and then that big job's coming. You do, and it makes perfect sense for someone who knows what they're doing, and I think that he does, and I can't help it. There's this talk of Lopetegui. I wouldn't mind him either, but I would love Xabi Alonso. I'd absolutely love him. I'd love him.
What Xabi Alonso, how much he backs himself, because. Listen, I know Xabi Alonso as a player was an excellent player, and he always sort of come to me as a player that could go on to become a fantastic coach, coach, because he knew what he was talking about. He talked with intelligence and he played at the highest level. And
it's not under that, mate. He worked under some great managers. He worked under Guardiola at Bayern. He worked under Mourinho. He worked at Ancelotti. Like, he's got a lot of knowledge and he knows the game as well.
Like Arteta. He's a similar sort of manager to Arteta. But, you know, I don't know. These managers at Real Madrid, Ancelotti's obviously going to retire at the end of the season. He's had a long career. He's managed Real Madrid a few times. He's, you know, done.
Again, he's big shoes to fill, Nick. To go into someone like him.
Like, it just depends what Xabi Alonso wants to do. You know, does he want to go and sort of like, does he want to go to Premier League route? Because it's a tough route. You know, you see.
I reckon he will. Honestly,
someone like Steve Cooper, though. You know, Steve Cooper, who has brought Forest up from the doldrums from 20 years of sitting in the Championship to all of a sudden getting a sack because he's what is he in the table? 18th, 17th, whatever.
Yeah, but that's more looking at the ambition of the football club.
No, I understand that, but
you look at Luton, right? Luton are fully expecting to get relegated.
Yeah.
You know, they're here to give it a go, and if they stay up, they fully expect. So I very much doubt they'll ever sack their manager. You know, it's what it is. It's that what the expectations are of the football club, and
I think
the expectations
in charge of the football club, because I think someone like Sullivan would just take fucking. He's not here for the long term. Let's be honest.
But he has gone out and got started. He has gone out and got started, though, Nick.
He's gone and
done that.
Because I think what he's doing there, Nick, is I think he's gone out and sort of secured the future of the football club in terms of value of it.
But you've also got to look at the influence of Kaczynski coming in.
Yeah,
the money that he's invested in. You know, this is the thing. There's been a big change in the culture of this football club since he's come on board because of the influence that he probably has now. And this is the thing, Sullivan got away with a lot of ducking and diving all the way through since he took over, right? The saving of the football club gave him a lot of credit. You know, the move to the London Stadium, which, you know, it was touted that the Icelandics would have probably done a similar sort of thing anyway. But he got that, he's rode it all out. And then Kaczynski's come in, Kaczynski's come in, invested his money. Then all of a sudden we start seeing a bit of a change. You know, I'm not saying Sullivan didn't invest because he did. You know, Sullivan invested because when we spent all that money on the players like Anderson and stuff like that was that type of money. But now we're seeing
you can't say he invested, Scott. You can't say he invested.
It's club money.
It's club money. But at the end of the day,
he's invested in terms of.
We spent money.
No, we spent money. We spent club money that we've earned already.
But by the by, we spent money, right? But since Kaczynski's come in. Well, since Kaczynski, there's been a culture shift.
Do you think, Scott? Do you think starting is more of a Kaczynski plant because of the way we've been burning money in the past?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah. Because there was that little battle. There was all the rumours going around at the start when and the thing is, obviously, that the rumours come from Sullivan's side. They come through Sean Whetstone and all that. Yep. And there was a kind of an internal battle going on, and it probably did. You know, we all know Sullivan likes to play director of football, doesn't he? He does. Yeah, he likes to do it himself. You know, and I just hope that that Stuyton is given the reins, because I think if he's not, he'll do a year like he's doing now, but I don't think he'll be here long term. I really don't. If we don't let him run with it,
I think when you look at like Kudus, Alvarez, and all that, you sit there and look. People give Stuyton the sort of his players. As we know, these players are being looked at by Mark Noble before Stuyton come on board.
Yeah, but Stuyton got him in though. Stuyton got him in.
Stuyton got him through the door. Yeah. But that's the thing, is that you're looking at that. He got him through the door. He's the man that can get the business done. And that's what we need. Sullivan is awful at getting business done.
Yeah.
You know, we've known that for a long, long time, and he's awful at getting business. Stuyton does the business. I just think now I think Moyes is the end of the Sullivan influence of this football club.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Stuyton now he's got to identify the manager he wants. And I think that the one thing with our fan base and is that whoever comes in, we have to give them time. If the new manager comes in and they don't win the first 5 or 10 games, you just got to stick with them. It's
well, look at Bournemouth this year. It took ages for that bloke to get going, isn't it?
When I look at David Moyes, he's your comfort blanket. You know what you're going to get with him.
Of course he is.
You're going to be safe.
Not for me,
but the thing is, when Moyes does leave the football club, the next manager is so important in how we progress as this football club, because and the thing is with social media, they're so people are so harsh. He'll lose his first game and they'll be like, oh look, we shouldn't have got rid of Moyes. You just got to give him time. You just got to stick with him. The next manager comes in, he's got to have a project. He's got to have a 3-year plan. And whether listen, I'm with Nick. I'd love to see Alonso in, and if we can get him in, I think that'll be the making of our football club football wise. Because I think that with the players we've got and what he can add, we will play the football that we want to see.
But that's the thing. As we were saying earlier, when you look at the core of the side and the players that we've got, there is the potential to go forward as a footballing side. Not
100%.
You've seen it under Moyes. You've seen times when we have played.
Scott, he ain't got the squad now to play the style of football that he wants to play.
No,
we ain't got a low block team.
No, and that's the thing, and that's why we come unstuck against the likes of Fulham.
Yeah.
Because we can't play that way anymore. We haven't got that. We done it at the start of the season. As I said, we got good wins against Chelsea and Brighton. But at the end of the day, they were lucky. Wasn't for Areola, we get beat 4 or 5 or 6. Fabianski's in goal, we get beat. I'm sticking to that all the time.
No, right? we're not losing that Brighton game. It was good in that Brighton game.
Nick, we should have lost that Brighton game.
Areola pulled off.
We lose that Brighton game. I don't care. Everyone.
He pulled off 3 world-class saves in that game.
Exactly.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I can't remember what happened 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, but honestly, because
it was also a good performance.
It was a good performance.
It was also a good performance. We were really clinical, great goals.
Performance, good counter-attacking performance, but a very lucky performance.
Well, he tried to. I think he almost lost it at the end, didn't he? For the last 15 minutes, he tried to hold on to it at the end and invited them on. And you fucking don't do that with him.
And that goes to show with a low block, we haven't got that side anymore. We've got a side that needs to be having a go at teams.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, and this is where.
Why would you though? This is what I don't get with the team that we've got. Right, I always say that low block I associate with like the likes of Sheffield, the weaker team. What we shouldn't be low blocking fucking anyone. You go out, you're going to win some, you'll lose some, but we should be going out with our threat, making the opposition worry about what we've got. Kudus, Bowen, Paqueta, these players. Teams should be shitting themselves with our attack. They should be.
You need whoever comes in now needs to nurture the talent we've got, but also install that work rate and defensive desire that you see with Moyes. Because we're still you're still gonna need that engagement when you go up against the likes of City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Well, not so much Chelsea, but Liverpool. When you go up against them teams, you still got to have that defensive still. I think that's where we come up unstuck against Villa. We've got the talent now to go forward. It's getting the balance. It's getting the balance right defensively.
He's on the Baileys now.
Hey.
But yeah, do you know what I do hang on to though, right? Do you know why I keep on saying Xabi Alonso? And it's a complete hunch, and that's because if you have a look, when Starting came in, he got involved with Noble and the youth team. There's that connect there now, because a lot of football clubs usually the way it works when you got an academy is the academy teams play the same way as the first team, so they're trained in the same way. Yeah. John's boy, he plays for Leyton Orient, same thing. So the philosophy runs through the club. But we're doing that 3-4-3 throughout now. If you have a look, the whole way through it's 3-4-3. There's only one other manager I can see, if you have a little look, that plays a 3-4-3, and that is Xabi Alonso. He plays a 3-4-3. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
I think I said this a little while ago. I think what this club needs is we need our training ground back together with all the teams, all the squads.
That's massive, yeah.
You go back to Chad Weef back in the day. Aaron Redknapp will have his first team out. Someone gets injured. He calls over a youth team player, Joe Cole. And then he goes on to have a career. Now they're separated. You've got the youngsters at
Rush Green.
Heath, and we're at Rush Green.
Yeah, we're at Rush
You
Green.
know what I mean? Like it don't make sense. And I know they are in talks to get this big complex and this big training ground. And I think that'll be massive. And if that is one thing that we can get sorted, but
we do need someone that's gonna make use of, because we've got another great batch of fucking youth players for the first time for ages as well, you know. And the other thing that bothers me is like people, they're talking about Mabama and this, that, the other, because he don't look like a world beater when he comes in. Well, he's coming from the under 23s, different level of football. When you buy a player from overseas for 30 million, you say, "Oh, give him 6 months because I need to adapt to the Premier League." Why can't you afford the same to a fucking youth player? Let them get used to the pace of the league. Do you know what I mean?
Our youth,
they come in, they look crap, and people write them off.
Yeah, our youth team at the moment, our under 23s, are the best in the country.
Yeah,
they are unreal, and they are just.
I'm died.
What do you say?
No, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I love drunk Nicky. Sit with away on the Baileys as well. Merry Christmas, Nick.
I need to get a bottle of Baileys. I ain't touched a drop of Baileys yet.
Do you know what?
I ain't going to be able to get up. I've done a fucking bottle of wine since I've been sitting here.
We bought a bottle of Baileys the other night. I said, "I'll come." Like me and the missus, we was watching The Crown. Right? Yeah. The last season of The Crown. So I said, "Oh, let's have a drop each." Fucking bottle went within and out, because I'll pour it like McDonald's fucking chocolate milkshake.
Yeah.
Full up like that. Love a Baileys. Ooh.
Oh, mate. Someone's just said there, give him a little shout out for us. We all love Canning Town Len. They said, "Where did you get your painting from?" Go to canningtownlen.com and have a look. He's still got you won't get it in time for Christmas, but yeah, he's got loads on now.
He can deliver it. He's a brilliant artist, Canning Town Len.
He's brilliant.
He's never given me a fucking picture though.
I've seen some of his stuff at the E13 events, and yeah, he's unreal. I was going to buy a Billy Bonds one, but he sold it out. So I'm going to get one. I'm going to get the Billy Bonds one because it's unreal. I don't even want it to go in the background. I just want it on. I've got a spare wall here. I've got so much shit to put up, honestly.
When you watch the show with what Gary does, you see he's got Bobby Moore behind him. It's the original one. And the reason he bought that was because he loved it, but he was pissed when we went to the event. I think it was the event that you guys were at as well. And he went up to it and he started running his finger down in it, touching it. I was like, "What are you fucking doing?" He's literally touching the paintwork. I said, "You got to buy it now." That's why he bought it. Lovely painting though.
I spoke to Ian the other day. These events, E13 events. I know he's got some brilliant things lined up for 2024, but we've been to most of them this year. And honestly, listen, I
always end up spending so much money at them things.
Yeah, I know. The thing is with West Ham, like I think we're very spoiled with the things that people do for our fan base. Like you got obviously like the West Ham way and their match day stuff, and you've got the E13 events, and there's all other people that do events as well. And I think that when you go to some of these events, it's good to see the same people and like you get to mix with like ex-players, and honestly, they're just brilliant. I love them. They've done so well. The Decanio night was unreal.
Oh, I'm gutted I missed that. Did you lot spoke to him, didn't you?
Yeah. We was lucky enough.
How was he? How was Paolo?
I love Paolo, man. He's just a nutter. Honestly,
would you take him if it went wrong and we had 4 months left? Would you take him for 4 months at the end of the season, just to the end of the season?
Why? I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Why?
No, never in a million.
Why?
The game's past him. It's not about that anymore.
I would. Do you know why? Because he would get the fan base up for it.
We've got Moyes in the dugout. Surely he'd be all right.
He would motivate all them players. I'd take him for
he would get the fan base up for it. I agree with that. But in terms of like
kicking Paqueta up the arse,
no way. It upset too many people in his first day.
Yeah, but that's what I like. I like that.
I know. Yeah, I like it as well. But I'm just thinking about the long term of the club, and I don't know. I don't think he'd be able to keep us up.
How about getting Di Canio in to be Moyes' number 2 to the end of the season? How about that? That'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Do you know what, though? I always thought it surprised me that he hasn't been like a coach or something like that.
He's too outspoken. He couldn't do it. Yeah. He'd be having a tear up with the man. Imagine that, like with Moyes. You know what he did against Liverpool. Like, do you know what? Do you hear Redknapp in the commentary? He ripped into him as well. Like at half time, Redknapp said what we was all thinking. Get these boys on, get these players on, like Paqueta and everything else. Everyone said the same thing. This is what I'm saying. I think that, after that game, the one good thing that came out of that is I do think, like Nicky said earlier on, for a short period, won't last long, I do think the West Ham fan base was pretty galvanised after that. Everyone felt the same.
Yeah.
Before, during, and after, everyone felt the same. And it wasn't even about Moyes out. We was all just fucking heartbroken.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that overall Moyes' arrogance come through more.
I was amazed. Amazed.
And that's what it boils down to. That whole thing that we've been at events, we've spoken to people and stuff like that. We know this not a happy camp behind the scenes there and stuff like that. We know he's very it's my way or the highway type. And you see that.
All right, Scott, mining.
Well, someone muted me because it said the host unmuted you and muted you. But yeah, he was very he just
Nicky on the Baileys that.
But you know what I mean? He just showed his true colours. He showed his true colours. He showed it that this is my way, this is how I'm doing it. If you don't like it, tough shit.
I know, exactly.
That is what all that was about. It was, I played these players, you keep telling me that I should play.
But this is the thing, right? Going back to like what Nicky said earlier on, and look, when you look at it from a high level, yeah, he deserves respect. This, that, the other. I do go in hard. I go in 2-footed on him. But do you know something? I don't like him. And when you do what we do, like you just said there, you do hear more stuff, and it reinforces it. And do you know something? I just don't like the guy. I think he's just a bit of a dick. I don't like him. I can't deny that he's been very, very good for this football club. He did come in. He laid brilliant foundations, brilliant through COVID. Winning the cup was amazing. But he should have gone after Prague. He should have gone after Prague.
I think that when David Moyes does eventually leave the football club, he'll look at it as I've left this football club in a better position than when I took it over. And I'm not denying what he's done the first time he was here, second time he was here. He's obviously won us a trophy, which he'll always be in our sort of history for that. But I think the time is right now for him and I hope that he has a good season. The thing is with me personally, I think what David Moyes has brought to this football club is stability, and I think he brought the fan base back together again. And now, but now he's starting to sort of lose it again. And I think that if he goes in the summer, I want him to leave on a high. I hope we have a great end to the season and we finish in the European spots, and hopefully, fingers crossed, you never know, another trophy. But I think that what David Moyes has done for this football club, I think that he will go down in our history, because I think that when you look at the stats and on paper, he has done a good job. And I know we haven't enjoyed it as much.
No, when he's gone, like I say, I ain't genuine hate from me. I hate him because he's here, and I hate the style of football. I've only ever been. I'm not like this with every manager. I hated Kirbishley. Didn't like him. Didn't like that football. Hated Sam, and I hate Moyes. I just hate people that I see as anti-football, people that hold people back. But the difference, I think, when you talk about Allardyce and Moyes, I don't think you'll ever hear like one of his. Well, you hear a couple, but generally, from what you hear of Allardyce, the fans hated him, but I think his players loved him.
Yeah,
his players loved him
up until that last season. That was the big difference with Sam. Because when the club announced they weren't renewing his contract, the players down.
I didn't mind Big Sam. The thing is with me is like I like stability. I like I know that we're going to be in the Premier League every season, and we're going to get these results that we shouldn't. You know what I mean? That's growing up as a West Ham fan. But I think Moyes is taking us to that level now where we think, you know what, we can go on and win things. And that's the only thing I would say about David Moyes. Because look, you can't knock his European record.
I'm not. I never do though. I don't ever discredit it.
Yeah, to go unbeaten in a European season, even though it's the Conference League, it's still
just can't stand him.
Villa, like Aston Villa, they lost their first or second game. It's not.
The thing with Moyes, mate, is that when he leaves this football club, he goes down as the best manager we've had in the Premier League.
Yeah, not for long. Until the next one. Until Xabi comes in.
I don't agree with this, right? And I don't agree with the sort of the Moyes. West Ham Central's one, right? I'm
Oh,
going to name
fuck
him
him.
as West Ham Central's one. He's a Moyes lover, right? And he's got.
He's a wanker, Nick.
He's a wanker. Yeah, I know he's a wanker. I've told him he's a wanker, and everyone
Yeah.
knows he's a wanker. But,
Nick, you shit yourself. You shit
no,
yourself.
I
the other
didn't
day,
shit
didn't you?
myself. I didn't shit myself, man.
Have a Baileys.
No, but what I've had a few. I think I've drunk a bottle already. No, but what I would say about this is that, like, they talk about Moyes as if, and look, I know he brought us stability when it was a tough time. You know what I mean? And that's what we needed at the time. But I think
Yeah, exactly.
we've gone past that time, and we've got to push on. If we don't push on, we're going to regress, and then we're going to need another David Moyes, and then we're going to need another fucking someone to take over that. You know what I mean? It's one of them situations where they talk about David Moyes as if he's the only one that can.
If he goes, we're fucked. We're going to get relegated with this.
Yeah, like and it's nonsense. It's nonsense.
No,
because
I totally agree, mate. And I think that when David Moyes does leave the football club, the next manager to take over is taking over a good football club with a good squad, you know, and that's what we need now. We need that next step.
I will say, if you look at that, I've done we did a show about 3 weeks ago. We went through it. We were scratching for content, and we went through it bit by bit. The players that are out of contracts, the old players, and this, that, the other players that like Paqueta that are looking to be going away, and by the end of the season we could be left like fucking 13, 14 players. That's what we could be left with, and that's including Zuma, that's including Sufal, that's including Suchek, that's including fucking Fabianski. And what I'm saying is, he spent almost $500 million as well. And when people say, "Oh, we've only got a starting 11, the squad's this," well, that's down to him and all. He's been here 3.5 years. We should have fucking a deeper squad than that. He's had loads of money, and I just think this is why I think it's prime now for him to go at the end of the season as well, because it looks scary when you see it on paper, all those players going.
I also think he misses opportunities, Nick.
He throws them away.
The opportunities to save, or to sort of, what's the word? To upgrade the squad. Like Fornals was a player that, you know, it was clear that he didn't fancy anymore, right? At the beginning of the season, it was clear that he didn't fancy him. We had an option to upgrade his contract, which we have done, because it's only to serve his value in terms of like who can
100%.
sign him and who can't and who can talk to him. But like, why stand in the way of Cresswell going? Why stand?
That didn't make any sense to me.
Like, why stand in the way of him? Like, why stop him from going? Is Cresswell gonna offer anything more than Scholes in the long term?
No,
even in the short term. Like, I watched Cresswell at Fulham. I swear down on my life, when he's training, he must be used as a dummy because he doesn't move. He doesn't move. He doesn't move. What? The guy's finished. Ogbonna, we see him the other day. Like, look, I know he had a big injury in the season before last, which sort of hindered his goodbye to the club. But we signed him.
He's finished. Bless him. He's finished.
He's finished. His legs are gone. Yeah. Like, you know, we done the same with Zabaleta. We signed him up, wasted so much money on someone that was clearly never going to play any games, but clearly couldn't offer a Premier League team anything more.
No.
And I just feel to myself, like, you know, I think we're at a position now and sort of in between of, we can. Someone said I'm lagging. I'm fucking lagging, man. I am lagging. But
you're on fire, Nick. You're on fire.
I'll talk the fucking truth.
It's the Friday night point.
We're on the cusp of, like, where we've been in the past, where we can go forward or we can go back, and you only have to go back. But by, you know,
Nick, you can't stand still in football.
You can't stand still. That is exactly it. But like, you see the types of likes of Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger. They knew when their players have come to the end of their of their value, and they knew how to get the maximum value of the players that had done their time at the club, has put value into the club, like a Bonner, like a Cresswell. Like, them players were fucking brilliant value for money, but they're not worth wasting another 70, 80 grand a week each on to sit on a bench because they're too old to, you're worried about them finding another club.
Listen,
No.
to be fair
I'm
to
sorry,
Creswell,
but that's not how you win.
no,
That's
but
not how you
Creswell
win.
wanted out, and the club chose not to sell him. Right?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't blame Cresswell. He shouldn't still be here, though, Scott.
No,
Shouldn't still be here.
Cresswell wanted to go back up north because obviously his missus moved up there and he's bought houses up there, and it made sense. But the club probably couldn't think, looking at, like, they've got Emerson as the first choice left back now. They're thinking, looking at backup. As I said, like what you boys said, I think Scholes is as good as Creswell now, and I'd like to see him get a lot more game time. But they probably kept Creswell there, thinking, I reckon he'll be gone in January. That's
the thing is, right? I said this when we done, when we done in the summer, we done the sell, keep, bench stuff, and I turned around and said, Bonner and Creswell, you keep for their experience.
Bullshit.
But
I told you at the time, bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the problem is, right? Is that you've got
experience
to
of what?
Experience
of losing. They're not winners, Scott. They've never won anything.
They're not winners. So they're not winners. They're not winners.
Hang on. Whoa,
they were both part of the squad that won our first trophy in 43 years. So they're not winners, no?
Sorry, Ryan, go on.
They are winners. They won a trophy.
Exactly.
Well, what trophy?
Europa League.
Neither of them played.
Conference, yeah, but they was there. They was part of the.
Yeah, they was there. Well, I was fucking there. That don't make me a winner.
I'll tell you, is a
question playing the game,
and that's the thing, mate. You don't see it from that perspective. That's the difference, right? They were part of that squad. They had a role to play in winning that tournament. Same as Dawson. Is it bullshit? Is it bullshit? Did they play in the group games? Did Craig Dawson play in the group games?
Bullshit. I could have played in the group games and we would have still gone through.
Here we go.
Mate, I've seen you play, and there's no way we would have won with you playing.
Hang on, Scott. Nicky could have won the trophy, as he said.
Exactly.
Listen. I'm not being funny. I'm not. Listen, I'll back him up. I think he could have. I think any of us could have with that squad.
Trust me. Listen, he couldn't even win 2 games in a row with Thames Ironworks on a Sunday.
Look, listen. In that final, he gets all the credit in the world. We had a fucking bye to that final. In the final, we was the worst team. Paqueta and fucking Bowen won us that game.
Of course they did.
They won us the game. They did.
Yeah,
Fiorentina were a better team.
That if you look at the last 20 finals, how many have been good games?
I know. It's all about moments. It's all about moments.
But the difference is your big players step up. Our biggest player didn't step up, but our 2 second biggest players did step up.
Hang on, Scott. Nick, give us the story. Come on.
I'll tell you, before you go into a story, one second, before you go into a story, talking about someone who's been probably our best player since Prague, Emerson, we'll probably all agree.
Oh, right?
Right, now this is a player that didn't need to adapt to the speed of the Premier League, right? Why did it take until Prague for Emerson to get into the team?
I don't know, but it was only. It made me only that.
No, what I mean is, but why did it take until Prague for Emerson to get into that team? He's amazing. He's fucking unreal.
Do you know what? Apart from the obvious,
I said he was shit. I said he was a shit signing when we signed him.
I said the same thing because I expected him, and I think Ryan said the same. I think Scott may have said the same. I expected him to be one of these players that have come from Chelsea, have settled in London, and thought, "Fucking hell, I can't quite get a game at Chelsea, so I'm going to go on and spend the next couple of years, in the same house, but fucking earning money for used, what's it called? Used rope or something?
Yeah. Money for old rope.
Money for old rope. Yeah, money for old rope. But he hasn't done that at all. He's embedding himself in the team. He's embedding himself in the squad. I think he's one of our.
Mate, he's our player of the season this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Apart from the obvious, apart from Bowen who's scoring all the goals, and apart from
he's the unsung hero of the side at the moment.
I'll be honest. When we first signed him, I remember speaking to my mate who's a Chelsea season. I said, "What's he like?" He went, "He's dog shit."
I honestly thought he was shit.
You've done a game, and I was like, "Fucking." But you know what? When I watched him when we played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, when we lost 2-1, when Cornet's goal was ruled off, his passion in that game changed my mind on him, and ever since then he had good games, but then he's just got better and better and better, and his link-up play with Paqueta.
Do you know how important he's been for Paqueta as well?
Yeah,
massively.
And do you know what? Right? When he come, I didn't see him as a left back. I see him as a left wing back because I was worried about him defensively. Right, my mate who I work with, Chelsea fan, he was disappointed to see him leave Chelsea. Most Chelsea fans are happy to see him go out the door. He was disappointed to see him leave Chelsea and turn
Same
around and
with,
say,
that's
such a good
the same
player.
with Zuma though, because when
Yeah.
we bought Zuma, my mate said to me, he went, "Fuck, you got a good defender now."
Yeah.
Honestly, he's a good defender. Like he was disappointed that he left Chelsea.
Yep.
Well, boys, give me 5 minutes. Nicky, don't go into your story till I'm back. I'll be 5 minutes.
Oh,
Go on, mate.
Whether he's still awake at that
I
point,
can't even piece together a story, brother. I don't know what. We've got
But
to be at this game in 12 hours, Scott. What the fuck?
That's the thing with Zuma, mate. Zuma always had the attributes to be a quality defender. It was just his injuries let him down. You know, he was great when he played.
He had a loan spell at Everton, didn't he? Where he done quite well. But,
and that's it. I think gone are the days now where we sign these players who are sort of at the end of their tether. You know, we've got players at our football club at the end of the tether. Look, we know that you know Bonner's past it, Creswell's past it. We know that's there. You know, it's. But I think gone are the times that we sign these players now. I don't think we're that football club anymore.
Do you know
that now is the likes of Sheffield United, Bournemouth. You know, they sign these players who are coming towards the end of their careers who can still sort of do a decent job in the Premier League. You know, where's Andros Townsend now? You know, them type of players who you're going to get something out of, but they're just really there to earn their last little bit of payday.
You know what, right? We've been going for 2 hours, nearly 2.5 hours, longest Friday night pint we've done for a very, very long time. So I think we'll start wrapping it up in a minute because Nicky looks like he's going to fall asleep. I need a piss.
Well, we've got our old fire till Nick comes back.
We'll carry on for 5-10 minutes.
I'm sure we've still got some questions, so let me see if I can find them.
Put the questions and comments up. So
I don't know whether this got shown, but thank you very much for a £20 super chat. We've got another one here. Josh Miller, $2. Is Rice performing as well as you expected? I think we covered that earlier on, saying that he absolutely did. You know, he's a top quality player, and we all knew that he was a top quality player. And you should.
I just remember people, and we're doing some content to address this sort of stuff. Like, I just remember people laughing at us when we was telling them that we had one of the best midfielders in the world on our hands, and like anyone that was lucky to get him, and like anyone that was lucky to see him play for them would be privileged. I remember even Arsenal fans laughing, you know, saying that they wanted Caicedo and he was better and all this sort of thing. Like, mate, Declan Rice was, you know, without being biased or anything like that, he was one of the best products we've ever seen come through our academy. Honestly, one of the best products we've ever seen come through our academy. No matter what team he went to, no matter if it was Man City, Arsenal, even if he'd gone to fucking someone like Aston Villa, he'd make a difference. Real Madrid, with Bellingham, it'd make a difference. It doesn't matter who he went to. Like,
I agree, mate. But just to answer Gavin's question here, would you lads ever look at doing a live show in Cork? Listen, if you invite us over, sort out a venue, we will come. We will be there. It would be
if you want to be the organizer for it, mate, we'll do it anywhere.
An absolute honour to come over to Cork. I've never been to Ireland, and I'd love to go.
I'm sure we've been asked that question before because my nan on my dad's side come from Cork.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You lying.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
No, you're a liar. You are. You ain't no Irish in you.
Yeah, I am.
If we ever get the opportunity, message us. We'd love to do it. We honestly love to go out to Ireland. But yeah,
if you can organise everything, brother, from your end, because we haven't got the resources here to do it.
Right, Ryan. I got to say, just before I heard you trying to wrap up. Listen,
no, we're not wrapping.
I've been 2 hours coming in. No less than 3 hours. We've got another half an hour. Come on, another half an hour.
I'll go for
another half an hour. Come on.
What is it? What will that make it? 12 o'clock? No, 11 o'clock.
Another super chat here. Red 5. Thank you very much, mate. $4.99. The way to fix the FA Cup is to award a Champions League place. Listen, us being in Europe,
they're not going to do that because
mate, at the end of the day, us being in Europe is
it actually should be though. I think when you think about it,
yeah,
more so than fourth place, more so than fourth place in the league.
What now is the Premier League, and they're all separate entities. So
yeah, but it doesn't matter. You could still attach.
I understand what you're saying, Scott. But like the Premier League want to make the 4 clubs that are in their strip, the sort of poster boys for the Premier League. Yeah.
Yep.
In the old days, they was all like run by the FA. Yeah. It was the FA Division 1, the FA Premier League, whatever. The FA Cup, whatever. Right. So it was all in. Now they're sort of like brands competing with each other.
But this is it,
the Premier League. The problem is with the Premier League, is the Premier League obviously benefits from the Champions League,
Mm-hmm.
So the 4 teams in the Champions League are going to benefit the Premier League, right? There is a chance. You think about it a few years ago when Cardiff won the league or the FA Cup, or Wigan won the FA Cup, right? And they beat they beat fucking.
Wigan beat Man City.
Yeah, Wigan beat Man City, right? So that does not help the brand of the Premier League to have someone like fucking Wigan in the Champions League. Listen,
Nick, they don't want to. Who dictates how we distribute the 4 places that we get? Is what I'm saying. So the Premier League get 4 places. What I'm saying is, so we get 4 places from the Champions League. Why couldn't we say, right, 3 of them go to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and the 4th one goes to the FA Cup? That gives the FA Cup meaning, makes it special, and then everyone takes it seriously.
It doesn't matter because the FA Cup is not something they want to promote. The Premier League is the thing they want to promote. So having the 4th place go to someone in, say, let's say Port Vale won it, for instance, or Wigan, or Cardiff, who have won it in the last sort of 15 years, it doesn't help the Premier League and it doesn't help the brand.
So it should be, though, Nick, though, isn't it? It should be like.
So it should be.
It's the beauty of the fucking cup, isn't it? The beauty of the cup.
The thing is, right, is that there's.
Hang on, Scott, hang on. Nick, I know you've had a few Baileys, mate, but Cardiff didn't win the FA Cup. They lost to Portsmouth. Wigan won it.
So Portsmouth. Everything is Portsmouth.
But the thing is, this is what I said a few weeks ago when they're trying to like revamp the Champions League and that. I think that going forward to improve all the European competitions, the Champions League should be champions only from every country.
I agree.
Then 2nd and 3rd and 4th Europa League. And that will make the Conference League stronger with a bigger team.
There's too many money makers in the Premier League and the Italian League to leave them out. You can't just have the champion, like say for instance, fucking Leicester.
No, but what I'm saying is
the only representative in the champion. Hang on. Was the only representative in the Champions League. That wouldn't do England any fucking favours in the future. They want the money makers.
Listen, all right, stop talking. But what is the name of the title? Champions League. So champions.
I know.
It should be champions. Should be champions. Yeah,
I know what the name of the title is.
Let me talk, and then I'm saying that the Europa League gets more competitive, and the winners of the Europa League then go up to that Champions League.
Never, because it would knock one of the big boys out.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Of course it does, because at the end of the day, the only way to improve things.
Scott, please. But then that makes the Europa League a bigger and better competition. So then it gives everyone in the Europa League something to aim for, to go to the Champions League. Because let's be honest, right? You look at it, it's called the Champions League, but you got 4th place there. What's 4th place?
It would be more of a prestigious trophy. Don't get me wrong. It would be more of a prestigious trophy to win, and it'd be a bigger achievement to win. But at the end of the day, right, it's about promoting the brands and manipulating what clubs go into there.
Yeah, but that's where it's all wrong, and this is where the Super League is all wrong. Of course, it's all wrong. So hang on. Whoa, Nick, right?
Change the whole system.
Hold on. You're sitting here saying, right, the Champions League.
I'm going home.
The Champions League should be competed by teams that finish 4th in their division. But it's called the Champions League. Let's be honest. The Liverpool Tottenham final.
I understand what you're saying, Scott. I totally understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. But I'm just saying, like, the Cypriot champions, let's say the Cypriot champions, or even the fucking Portuguese champions, they have to play a playoff place with someone else from another country to get in there. But the 3rd place, like a Tottenham, will get in
Yeah, automatically, which is wrong. Because at the end of the day,
hold on. But you've got 100 million, say, Premier League fans and 100,000 fucking Portuguese league fans.
And what?
Yeah, but you know what they're going to pay the money for.
At the end of the day, it is the Champions League, right? So only champions can be competing.
What you're saying, Scott, but you got to be fucking realistic. What they're going to want?
You've got to
because it's not the Champions League. It's the Champions League.
Calm down. Wait,
the champions of each.
Listen.
Wait, hold on. The Champions League is not about being the champions of each country. It's about.
It should be though. It should be.
But it's in the title.
It absolutely should be, right? It absolutely should be. But the revamped Champions League is about getting the maximum amount of money.
Of course it is.
And making sure
it's
the money spinners get through in the fucking competition.
But this is what we're saying is that, like, if you have. Hang on, you are right. But listen, if you're in the.
Not to 11, Nick. Come on.
Knocking back his Baileys. Listen, the Champions League is a league of what? 10 teams that are champions that battle it out. And they have whatever they want. The Europa League becomes stronger, a lot stronger.
Anyway. Fuck all them.
And then, hang on. Put your finger down. And then the Conference League that everyone's been saying is a shit, then becomes a lot stronger. And then you'll get a lot of teams that will compete in the conference, then compete in the Europa to make their way to the Champions League.
No, they won't. They don't want that, but that's not what they want. They don't want competition. They want monopoly.
Yeah, and this is the whole reason why the Super League is not around.
This is not the fucking qualifications for the Champions League. This is to see who, what money they can withdraw from the monopoly of the leagues.
We all know, right? We all know with UEFA.
Hang on, stop a minute. Do you know what I love? Nicky's battered and he's wearing a turtleneck. This is Christmas. He's sitting in the fucking Baileys. Go on, Nick, get off. This ain't look like he's a games master.
We all know, right? We all know with the Champions League, it's UEFA's way of monopolising.
It's not even UEFA. It's the Premier League as well. They have a say in it as well.
Listen. This is where UEFA and FIFA are now starting to come unstuck, right? They've just lost that massive court case with the Super League.
Oh, fuck off. I'm going to have a cigarette.
Mate, this is the thing. This is all what's happening, right? All because they monopolise it. The Champions League should be every single champion of every single European club competing in the same competition. Of course it should. And he knows I'm right because this is why he's got out for a fact.
Yeah, but like you were just saying, so the way you were talking about, I didn't hear it, Ryan, like structuring it is, say you had like 2 positions from the Premier League, and you could have like the Premier League winner and like maybe the FA Cup winner. Go into it. 2 champions, and the Europa League Cup winner if you get in there. So you get in there as well. You can have 3, and then what you have underneath that, maybe you have a bigger Europa League, a league like that. That's the thing, and that's different. The Champions League should be for the champion. It should be for the champions
as well, because then that makes the Conference League even stronger.
So
we have 3 European competitions, because a lot of people sort of like turned their nose up at the Conference League. Like when we won it, they was like, "Oh, what you're playing like farmer teams and all shit like that." But
but this is the thing, right? Look, see, like Elias said here, so even the champions of San Marino. Well, why not? But why not? They've won their league. At the end of the day,
I think no. What's the point? No, like, what's the point of them?
Then you look at it,
what's the point? You can't call it Champions League.
What's the point though? There's no point having them. It's like having Celtic in the Champions League. There's no point.
But then,
might as well put my son's team in there.
Yeah, the thing is, hang on. But the thing is, like when you look at the Champions League, you have to look at the top 10 countries, and then put them in there. Like you can't. Samurai, you might as well have the Romford fucking charity league winners.
But not being funny though, right? In what you're saying there, the format that the Champions League is now, where you have 2 teams competing in the final that hadn't won the championship in their league for 20, 30 years, playing each other. Because if you're sitting there saying that because it's San Marino and they're a bunch of farmers,
I'll be honest with you. Finishing second in the Premier League is still better than winning the San Marino first.
But that's the principle of it, though, right? It's not about that. It's not about 10 clubs competing, because then you're saying, well, this is the Super League. We'll have the Super League.
But when they're talking about Super League, they're talking about the super teams, like the names. They're not worried about the Bosnia fucking champions winners.
Right.
So
yeah.
So you're playing the Conference League.
this is the thing, right? So this is what I'm saying. Yeah, if you're having a European competition, yeah, called the Champions League, it should be the winners from every European league, whether it's San Marino, whether it's Luxembourg or whatever, competing.
I don't know about that.
Sunday league football.
It's not a Champions League, is it? Because you're going to have.
But I know what you're saying, Scott, and that's what I'm saying.
It's got to be prestigious, though, isn't it? And that ain't prestigious having them players.
It's no different because then you just have a league structure as you do with group stages, and the top teams go through. So you're still monopolising it for the top teams.
Well, you're not really, are you? You just sort of like you can't have the league winners from fucking Austria.
But why not? It's the Champions League.
But do you not think it's a bit mental though that, like, say Man City win the league, then Arsenal come fourth. Yep. They go into the Champions League the following year, and Arsenal could end up European champions of the Champions League.
And
that's fucking weird.
That's
weird.
Arsenal get
But do you not then think it makes it a better cup competition? Like how the FA Cup used to be a cup competition where you had the likes of Wigan beating Manchester City, or you had the likes of Portsmouth winning the FA Cup. It makes it a better competition because you're giving opportunities to sides that don't get opportunities. I'm
a little bit different to everyone else. I'm not anti-Europe. I'm not, but I'm not as taken with it as everyone. Don't get me wrong, Joe saying. It maybe if I went to the games like you did, the European games, I went to the home games, didn't go to the away legs. I would love to have done that to a few of them. I didn't, but I don't know. I don't get turned on by playing some of the teams that we was playing. Don't get me wrong, Sevilla, Leon, different gravy, brilliant playing those, but playing fucking Larnaca and teams like that, I just don't see the point. I don't see the point.
I do agree, and like honestly, like some of my best memories, like Alkmaar away in Holland, and it was all about the trip.
That's because you went. That's because you went though. That's the thing. You went out there.
Hold on.
For me, the Conference League last year, the away trips was called the Stag Do Cup because we went to Iron That Bar, Amsterdam, Prague, like the best times of my fucking life. But honestly,
listen, this is the thing for me, right? This is the thing, yeah, right? It's like, look, right, this is the problem. It's not what UEFA and the broadcasters want. I totally agree with that. It isn't what UEFA and the broadcasters want.
I just think Europe's taken over everything.
Hang on.
What about Europe? Europe.
You need to look at it, right?
Christmas, leave it alone.
You need to look at it from being a football fan, right? Being a football fan. If you lived in one of these countries, yeah, that only gets one qualifying place and then they win it and they have to go through qualifiers, and then you look at someone like the Premier League where the fourth place team gets through, yeah, you're disrespecting football totally at every single level.
If you're San Marino, right? If you're San Marino, what competition would you rather go into? To go into the Champions League to get absolutely battered every game, or go into the Conference League against maybe lower level teams where you might spring a surprise? But
the only way you get better is by competing against
San Marino. Are never ever going to compete in the Champions League.
Scott, let's be fair.
They're never going to compete in the Champions League.
If you don't give teams the opportunity to get better, it's sitting there like
I half agree with you. Half and half.
Yeah, it's no point playing in League Two, coming up and competing against Premier League sides because you're never going to win.
Do you really think, right, if you got San Marino's fucking champions get drawn against Real Madrid?
They're not winning. They're not winning all day
long.
Has San Marino even got a league? I don't think they have.
Probably not. But this is the thing. At the end of the day, it's about what the competition's meant to be. It's meant to be the best.
You're a daydreamer, mate.
We're doing
the fucking dreamer. You're not in the modern fucking times of the.
No, but Nick, this is the fucking problem, mate.
Listen, I do agree with you. I do agree with you. In a perfect world, yeah. Then, Man City would be playing the likes of fucking the Portuguese champions and the fucking.
And you know what, right? In a perfect world. Let's have the fucking Super League that we all kicked off about was performing.
No the fucking way.
Boys playing it. But that's it. But that's exactly what you're talking about. Because you're sitting here saying the winners of the Cyprus.
Although Moyes would be up for that, though, because you can't beat the likes of Liverpool. He'd be over the fucking moon if they did.
This is it. Right, but so this is it. This is what you're sitting there looking at. You're looking at the fucking FIFA generation of fucking football.
No, we're not.
Yeah?
We're not
I think the Premier League is the Champions League. I think that's what I think. I think the Premier League is the most prestigious competition, the toughest competition in the world.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
It is.
And I just think all this shit from Europe, all these different competitions and everything else. I know it gave us our cup and everything, but when you look at it, it kind of, when's it going to stop? It's going to end up going at like fucking 10th and 12th place to get into Europe, and it's all going to be about fucking Europe.
Like Europa League and the Conference League will benefit so much more and make it a lot more competitive if you drop them teams that finished third and fourth in the Premier League down, and then it will. And look,
it's not about
I agree with what
they don't want these leagues to be competitive. They want them to be.
But why not?
Because they don't. Because it doesn't suit the brand. Listen, 50 years ago, when like the likes of Celtic and that got to the Champions League final, Celtic are a massive football club. Let's not get that right. But they're in a league that is dominated by two clubs. Yeah. And the money that has come into the Premier League ever since has overshadowed them by 100-fold. You know, they can't even get out of the Champions League groups, right? You're talking about the Lions of Lisbon that won the cup in Lisbon in the 60s. I think it was the 60s. They don't want competition anymore. That's why they keep on implementing these rules of financial fair play and things like this. And they want to promote a brand. It's about branding. It's not about competition anymore. They don't want competition. You know, when Leicester won the league in 15-16, right? It was the greatest underdog story of a generation, because it was done in a time where, a team like Leicester shouldn't be competitive.
It will happen again in the Premier League, though. I think it'll happen again.
You think it will?
I think it will. It will. Yeah.
Right,
because I think there's so much money. I think there's so much money in the Premier League. It's such a kind of. You look at it. Everyone fucking beats everyone, don't they? And you get a team. But you get a team like Villa. If Villa are lucky for the rest of the season, they don't get injuries and this, that, the other. They go out there, invest well in January. Villa could cause a surprise. They could, of course, because don't know.
We attract the best players in the world. Like,
yeah,
in this league now, yeah, you can look at the likes of West Ham and maybe Crystal Palace in the last few years with Zaha, Brighton, who have had some of the the league's best players. But eventually, like let's be fair, they'll all be bought up. The best players will all be bought up by the top clubs, right? And they don't want to promote the Premier League a little bit different, because they like it to be competitive. They like it to be between 5 or 6 clubs. They like it to be between Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Man City, and whoever the fucking darling.
I just don't think they can control it now. Like, I don't think they can, because
they can't, because there's
too much money.
But they do their fucking best. VAR is.
I know.
VAR is proof of that. VAR was.
That's all that was put in place for as well.
Yeah, of course it was, to protect the. To protect that.
VAR was put in place to actually show us what we already knew, that the whole refereeing system is corrupt and biased towards the big side.
Fuck is worse now, isn't it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was brought in place to be able to control the narrative. We have more discussions now, 5 or 6 years into VAR, about VAR and refereeing decisions, than we ever did when it was just independent referees making decisions. These individual mistakes and overlooks that they had.
I sort of disagree with that, mate, because the last season we had a hell of a lot of refereeing decisions that went against us. So much so that decisions stopped us getting to the FA Cup semi-final and potentially winning the Premier League. We refereeing mistakes. When you look back at that season and you go through the points that we lost through refereeing mistakes, we finished above Leicester.
No,
VAR's just highlighted how corrupt football actually is. That's all it is. And look, you've had ex-Premier League referees come out and say we were told to sort of lean towards the bigger sides. It's just pathetic. And this is the whole thing.
For that season, that's exactly why I think it will happen again, because I think football.
What bullshit am I talking?
Ignore him.
Scott's
he's
Bullshit.
Yeah, what bullshit?
Bullshit.
What bullshit? What corruption?
I'll get it all game long. Just ignore him.
Yeah.
Ignore him.
But that's what I'm saying. What
say.
bullshit am I talking?
Um,
Did you not watching West Ham back then?
Well, he says she's talking bullshit, Scott. So.
Yeah, what bullshit? I'm asking that. I want to know what I'm talking bullshit about. Because so far, everything I've said is fucking true.
Hang on. I'm all right.
What's the time? We've got 5 minutes left, Nick. What do you want to
5 minutes left. I've got 10 minutes. 2:49. Come on, 3 hours. 3 hours. What are we going to talk about? I'd say talk about Man United. Talk about Man United tomorrow. Man United.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? They've had a little... they've had the sickness bug as well in their camp. You know, they're going to be very... I'll tell you what. My favourite
fucking sickness bug. What a load of bollocks.
Ever since I was a kid, my favourite home game has always been Man United at home because I think that they are, even though they've not been great the last few years, they are still the biggest. For me, you beat Man United, they're a big club. And if we
they are shit this year, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are shit. I've watched obviously doing the Premier League show. I watch a lot more now, and watching them, they're awful, and they've got a lot more injuries and players. So tomorrow is a good chance for us. And I've only ever seen it once in my lifetime that we've battered them, and that was in the Cup when we beat them 4-0, when even Jonathan Spector scored 2 goals. And there would be nothing. It would make my Christmas if we could get a good victory over United, like 3 or 4-0 tomorrow.
Do you think we will?
No. Do you know why? Because Moyes will approach him like they're the Man United winning the Premier League.
I don't think he will, mate. I think he's going to approach it as the same he did against Wolves. I think we'll see a same team out, and I think that our players will go for it tomorrow. And I think we can. Honestly, I can see us getting an early goal, and I can see us going on.
Ryan, you play football, yeah? You play football. You've been in like these team environments. You talk to ex-players and stuff like that, and you know, like what he's done with the last 2 away games. He's done it before as well. Like the last one, like threw the team under the bus. They got beat 5-0. 10 games conceded in the last 2 away games, and the team always bounce back when he needs them to, and they kind of help him out. How long do you reckon that's going to last for? Because I'm not being funny. I think he's an utter fucking dick. Because even though there's a portion of the fans that after Liverpool and Fulham blame Moyes, there's a massive portion of fans that blame the players. Massive. Yeah, he makes them look shit. He sets them up to fail. And this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, but how long do you reckon he's got with that group of players before they stop digging him out of shit? Is what I'm trying to say. And they do every time. Every time they dig him out.
Like, speaking from a player's point of view, right? If I'm a player, you go out there to win games, and you can listen to the manager. And listen, I've never played at a fucking high level of football, but there's been times where I've listened to a manager. One of
team dynamic is the same now, I think. No, Roy, I think it's the same throughout.
And I've gone on the pitch as a captain, and you change it yourself. And I think that's what we've seen in the last few games. Players can dictate the game; they don't always have to listen to the manager. Yeah. And I think that Man United at home is a big game for us, and I think them players will want to win tomorrow. I think we've got the players to win. You know yourself. We've got such a good starting 11.
We've got such a good team, mate.
Yeah, we have got a good team, and if them players go out there and dictate, and I think listen, I know Ward-Prowse is not captain, but I like to think that he has a little bit of influence in there as well in the changing room, and I think that these players now will listen to the manager. Don't get me wrong, but you go on there, and a good captain will say, and I've seen Noble's done this before, and he's admitted to it as well. He would go on there and say, "We'll do this," and you win games. See, so players can influence games.
That's what a leader does.
But exactly, and that's the difference. Is that when you're sitting there and with a manager, it's the same as the players that don't get a lot of game time. It's on them a little bit to put that little bit extra in at training, and when they got the opportunities to perform. And it is hard.
Are we missing leaders this year?
I think so. I think so, because you're missing leaders who are going to take control on the pitch, and if they're not happy with what the gaffer's told them.
I don't think we're missing leaders, and I love Kurt Zuma, but I don't think he's the right captain. I really don't. And I think that like someone for me, like Jared Bowen, would have been a better captain. But I think on the pitch, when you look at the dressing room now, I think like James Prowse, I know he hasn't been great all season, but he's a good voice to have in the dressing room. And you look at what he done the last 2 games, like especially against Wolves, he's played that little bit further. Souček's played that little bit deeper. And that is exactly what we done at the beginning of the season. And that was when we was getting good results. And I think Will Prowse dictating that little bit there. And listen, I grew up watching players dictate football games like Di Canio and that. And when I watch Lucas Paquetá, I watch him, and the other day against Wolves, he had them all on strings. He just dictated everything. Everything that come through, what we've done was through him. And that's
do you think right with Paquetá, do you think Moyes holds him back?
Yes.
Because when you look at the stats this season, he's only got 5 assists and 3 of them come in the Wolves game.
Do you know what I like about our forward 3 at the moment with Bowen, Kudus, and Paquetá is that they switch, and when they do that, the opposition, their defense think, "Well, what's going on here?" You see Bowen up top, then he's out wide. Kudus up top, Paquetá drops in the middle, and that's what I think we need to do. And that's where we get a lot of our success from, is when them players just have that free role. Let them dictate it. You've got the wall of Alvarez, Souček, and Ward-Prowse. They will do that dog working now. They will break up the play. Alvarez is brilliant at it. Alvarez is one of the best I've seen at West Ham for a long time, who just breaks up the play. He reminds me a bit of when we had Scott Parker. Break up the play and give it to the players that can influence the game going forward.
He reminds me of Song. When we had Song playing.
Alvarez.
Alex Song's a good shout.
I think Alvarez in that, just as a CDM, and in the CDM role, I think he's every bit as good as what Declan Rice was as a CDM. Every bit as good. He replaces him. He ain't the other player. He can't do all the other bits and pieces that Deck done. But when you look at the balance that we've had in Arsenal, go back to Arsenal. We had Souček was good in that game. We had Souček, Paquetá, and Alvarez in the middle. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And aggressive, pressing all over the place.
This is the thing with Souček. He gets a lot of criticism.
Oh, he was shit the other day, mate. Yeah. He was as shit as Ogbonna.
Yeah, I've criticised him a lot for thinking, but when used in the right way, he's effective. But with Moyes, he just blindly plays him. And this is what I said about Paquetá. Paquetá's played out of position to blindly play Souček. Right, Souček is a threat. He works hard. You can't knock him for his work rate, his commitment, and all that. And he is a goal threat from set pieces and things like that. But there's games when you sit here and look at it, we've got other players that can play out on that left. You've got Alvarez holding. You've got players like Paquetá and Ward-Prowse. Give them the fucking ball.
4 minutes, Nick. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Almost there.
Give them to way too serious for me. I'm leaving right now.
Nick,
no.
Nick. 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
One more Bailey's, Nick.
I've absolutely loved it.
Gents, it's silly.
Gents, I've absolutely fucking loved this tonight. Honestly, I really have. It's been brilliant.
Now, do you know what though? Like, it's been a pleasure to have you on. I'm a big fan of your channel. I watch it all the time. I've been on your channel before. It's good to have you on. It's been a great night. I know Nick, he's stretching his roll neck out there. He ain't happy with it. He's turned it into a fucking V-neck.
I don't know whether you see
someone turn a turtleneck into a V-neck in 5 seconds before.
No, but honestly, I will say about before Nicky goes, I will say, I mean, I'm not digging any other channel out. I'm not. But when I got into this, it was like the respect I've got for you guys. You've never ever changed from day one. You've got no fucking outside influences. You're still a load of fucking. You say what you want, load of arseholes like us. You come out, you're outspoken. I fucking love that. Even with all them fucking subs, you've never been effective. You've never been compromised, and that is literally. I'm not being funny. If you don't like Claret and Booze, you can blame yourselves because that's literally what it's what we're based on. Is kind of what you guys do. I love that. I love the fact that because you guys could have fucking. Had a few phone calls, taken a few, this at the other, done this at the other, and you can tell you've never done that.
Nick, you've
never done that.
Let me tell you this now, mate. Listen, we've been around in this space for a long time now, a long time, and we always speak our mind like you do. That's why I respect you guys over.
Even if you don't agree, like it's the thing. That's the thing, yeah.
But this is the thing, right? And this is what I want you to. You guys remind me a lot of us when we first started.
Yeah,
like a lot of us. And it's not that I've got no respect. If I ever mention you as a point of reference in a post match interview or something that I don't agree with, it's because I watch it. And
yeah, I know.
Believe this now, right? And believe me, and I speak to you directly, and I speak to your brother. You know, listen, I've been around in this space a long, long time, and I don't watch nothing.
No,
I don't watch our shit that goes out. I'll be honest. No, I'm going to be honest because I don't never want it to be able to influence what we do in the future and what I do in the future. Yeah. So, like, the fact that I reference you guys as a point of interest, look, I'm too busy to watch Hammers Chat. I'm too busy to watch E20. Like all of these guys, like, and I respect all of the work that goes into these channels. And the thing about you guys is you caught my eye because you was the most like us that I've ever seen. Yeah. Like I remember, without mentioning sort of, well, I suppose I got to mention names, but I remember guys that come along at the beginning when we came along before you guys came along, and they tried to replicate what we did, and they they even stole ideas what we had, through hook or crook. But you guys are the most like West Ham Fan TV I've ever seen, and what you've got to remember is that, and we've learned this lesson the hard way, and we've learned it the hard way. Do not pin your opinions as a selling point of the channel, because at the end of the day, it is meant to be a representative of all the fan base, and that's where other channels have gone wrong. They don't want to give the fan base a voice. They see what we do, and then they try to replicate it, what we done, and that's by giving the fan base a voice. And they didn't really get what the fundamentals of the core of the channel was. They tried
honesty is what the fucking core of the channel was. Saying what you're thinking, any one time, for good or for bad,
and giving everybody a say.
Yeah.
Whether it be what your opinion is or what your opinion is against, represent everybody and give everybody a say. That is what this channel is built on. We've had phone calls, Nick. Believe me, we've been here for nearly 10 years now. We've had phone calls from companies,
mate. I can only imagine.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. Honestly,
I will tell you,
and that's why it's fucking so impressive. What you've never ever been compromised.
No,
ever.
And that is what we've built our channel on. Listen, there are some channels that are further in front of us commercially that we would like to be, but that's because we've never ever compromised what we believe to become something that we don't believe in, but we do for a living. We've always said this from the very, very start, and I hope you take this forward with you, that no matter what we get offered, monetary wise or whatever, if it means we have to divert our opinion or dilute our opinion,
your soul,
or then we've sold it. It's not worth it.
Exactly, and you know what? If we're fucking, I'm like you, and if we've literally come this far, as long as what you've come, and we're still in the same situation, you'd be proud of yourselves, because something, everyone. We've been in this. A lot of people say when you're on Twitter, "Oh, you're doing this for the money." Like, fuck, are you doing this for the money? You ain't doing this for the money. There is no money in this. There isn't, and the fact of the matter is, you don't, do you, Nick? You literally,
there is no monetary gain.
None of us are retiring off of West Ham YouTube, are we?
I always said, like if West Ham, if our channel finished tomorrow, we'd still be going home and away next week.
Yeah,
we ain't here for. Listen, I love doing this channel. Believe me, and tonight has been like a highlight for my year. I've been for a rough couple of months, and like tonight,
I know you have, mate.
Here of all you boys and Chesney coming on. It just makes you forget about everything, and this is what we sort of done this show for. But like, I've watched you boys for a couple of years, and honestly, like, I watched you, and I've said to Nicky many times, they remind me of us because they're fans, they love the football club, and it's no disrespect. I do watch other channels as well because I like everyone's opinion, because I think to myself, like, maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but like I've got anyone that does YouTube, whether you've got 100 subscribers or 100,000, it's tough. It's tough to do it, and like it is just enjoy it. That's all I always say. Just enjoy it. If you're doing it with your mates and you enjoy it, that's all that matters.
Absolutely. But as a counter to what you said earlier on, Nicky, what I will say is like one of the first things that attracted me to you guys was you literally said what many of us were thinking, because you react passionately, you react naturally and stuff like that. You weren't trying to please. As far as I'm concerned, mate, you don't have to try and fucking please everyone. You actually don't. You just, if people like it, no, you don't. If people like it, fine. If they don't like it, then fuck off. As long as you're being yourself, and I can only imagine what you've been through, because you've had some serious, strong opinions in the past, you know, and been going far longer and far bigger than what we are. And you've seen the shit that I've had, and I don't. And it did rock me. I like to think I've got skin like a rhino, but that fucking thing, that happened to me after Brighton. I must admit that did rattle me a little bit.
Yeah,
it did. So I can see how it gets into you. It does get into you. But do you know what? Fuck them. You're literally on here. Ultimately, you're on here as fans. That's number one why you're on here as fans, and you give your opinion. And if people don't like it, it's tough shit. That's the thing.
I think that's the most important.
You ain't got to please everyone. You ain't got to please everyone.
That is the most important thing that you have to remember. At the end of the day, I think we've just passed 75,000 subscribers or something.
It's ridiculous. You're going towards Wembley. You're going towards Wembley numbers.
Yeah, that sort of thing. You know, when we was at Upton Park, we wanted to surpass Upton Park. We surpassed the London Stadium and all that sort of thing. We've been a lot of games and a lot of effort has been put into it. But ultimately, like, what we have to remember, like when we started this, there was no one to look up to. No, there was no one. You know, we are literally the
you're the first ones.
One of the first. No, we wasn't at first. No.
Who came before you then?
There was a channel,
Irons Views.
Yeah,
I remember reaching out to him. And
we got told at the start that he's got all the setup and everything, he'll be massive, and you guys won't succeed.
He had 500 subscribers, and I remember at the time we had about 15, 20, and I remember saying to Nicky, I said, my achievement is overtaking that bastard, because you know I would work with anyone, I would do anything with anyone, but he sort of looked down on us, and like now he ain't even got a channel, and we've got 75,000 subscribers.
But that's the same sort of things happen to us along the way as well, and that's why we're trying to be a little bit different. Like you guys, Ryan, you jumped on with us as well, and we're trying to be a little bit different. We're partnering with it's just a collaboration with Fortunes Hiding Down Under. A fucking Cockney guy lives in Australia, and he used to cut all the hair of Ryan. His name Ryan. What a great guy! What a great guy! And because we want to give him a leg up, because it ain't easy when you start out. It ain't easy when you start out. So
the problem I find, Nick, with
there's too many. There's a lot of fucking dicks doing.
Yeah, the problem I find with a lot of YouTubers that want to jump on it is that like they start it and then they give up after a few months because they ain't got the subscribers. But I've always said, forget the subscribers.
Or they've got in it for money and they realise that there ain't no fucking money in it.
As long as you enjoy doing it, just stick with it, because eventually you will grow.
And what is it you love most about yours? Because for us, the reason we've carried on, and I never expected any of this stuff on some of that, is you build a community on there. Yeah, you end up building a little community.
Our community is
that's the thing. That's everything. That's everything. Mate, honestly,
we done. It was just after COVID finished. We done Friday Night Pint Live, and I was thinking to myself, who's going to turn up to watch us? And honestly, like the people that turned up, and like us, it was just us sitting on stage. We had Jimmy Walker as well, but honestly, it's one of the best nights of my life. Honestly,
yeah.
I can't. That experience for me was one. It'll always live with me. Whether we do part 2, part 3, Friday Night Pint 1 was honestly just to have people there that was there for us.
Yeah,
was massive. Honestly,
the thing is, I think it's because of the community that this actual show survived. As long as
same as us. We only done this during COVID.
Yeah. We started. That's what we did it for. This took over from Nicky and Ryan used to do a show on a Thursday night, and this took over from that because obviously, we were used to being together. All of us were together at football and stuff like that. And during COVID lockdown and all that, we couldn't. So their Thursday night show then turned into this, and because of the community that we built up and the comments we were getting, and this show got a lot of people in the comments. It got us, all of us, through lockdown at one point or another. You know, we were all different stages.
I get people, and funny enough, I had someone in the pub the other night come up to me and talk about Friday Night Pint. They said, "Oh, like, listen, during COVID, you really got me through it," and like, I think myself like, we're just like mates that sit there on a Friday night. But then I suppose you don't realise that there are people that maybe might be on their own, and they might see us as like their little comfort blanket, and mate, you don't appreciate it, you know.
That's what you don't realise, and that's what shocked us. Because, like I say, even like through COVID and beyond. So, for instance, when I do my rants, I piss a lot of people off. But then I'll get emails and I'll get messages through from people that are saying they're suffering with like mental health problems. They're suffering with this, and they're saying stuff like, "I love watching you. You're representing the way that I feel." You know, what is it? Someone said to me once. He said, "As your blood pressure goes up, my blood pressure goes down." And that's the thing. When people go on Twitter and they, you shut your thing down, this, that, the other. It's good to have voices for everyone. It's good to have. It's good to have. You don't want to fucking everything to be an echo chamber. Do you know what I mean? And that's the thing. There's so many like YouTube channels out there now. You can go and whatever you want, you can go and find. But yeah, I just think it's, and I think West Ham fans are actually quite lucky because all the fan channels are good. I think we're fucking brilliant.
They're different in different ways, mate. And look, I would be a fucking fool and a hypocrite to sit here and saying, well, this one's shit and that one's shit because of this and because of that. Listen, everyone does their own thing, you know, and I've always welcomed this, and I've always welcomed difference of opinion. I love opinion. That's what our channel is built on. Opinion, unfortunately, is not a great fucking money maker because you know it's such a wide stance of such a wide.
Listen. You guys are living proof. You're the biggest fucking channel. You've never changed. You guys are living proof that fucking honesty pays and sticking to your guns pays. That's the thing. You're gonna have good times. You're gonna have bad times. You're gonna go ups. It's gonna go downs. Sometimes you're gonna look silly, Nicky. Sometimes you're not. And the fact of the matter is, no one can ever fucking criticize. No. They can't criticize you for being a fucking like an idiot or a gaslighter or anything like that. No one can
ever criticize anyone's opinion as long as you agree with that opinion and you're willing to fight with that opinion and you have the evidence to back it up and you're not just saying it for other sort of gain or whatever. Like if you have an opinion, if I've turned around and said, right, do you know what? Fucking David Moyes, mate, is the best thing that's ever happened in this club. He's got to stay. I don't believe that opinion. You know, I don't believe it. You know, look, I'm not a solid. You know, he's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. But I've got to say, over the evidence over the years, it showed me that he hasn't got a lot to change everything. But what I would say is, as long as you're true to your opinion, no matter what your opinion is, on any channel. And if you want to drive that narrative, that's fine with.
Unfortunately, that is literally just the way I feel, is the way I talk. So I can't help it. I can't help it. It's the way it is.
I've seen a lot of YouTubers, and I won't mention any names, but he's disappeared now, and he's long gone. And he's been on his channel before, many moons ago, that would literally just say the thing that would sell, and.
People ride the wave, don't they?
They ride the wave, and like we've been accused of that before. But I've got to say this: I'm more open-minded than a lot. You know, I want to believe in Moyes. I want to. You know, I'm a big negative fucking force on this channel. I am. I have been for many years.
I feel like Nick that you've been kind of. I feel like you're under more pressure, if I'm honest, because watching you from the early days. I think it must be the pressure. Like I say, you've got 7 times more the fucking subs that we have, and the pressure that we get sometimes. But what I mean is, I feel like you feel the pressure to try and please everyone, and I don't think you should. I don't think you should feel that.
I want to represent everyone.
No, represent your own opinion, and people relate to it because you.
But you know, I understand that. I want to give everybody a say because that's what we're about. We're about opinion, and we're about representing. Like the broader range
but on your channel, you've got Scott who's got a different opinion. You've got Ryan who's got a different opinion. You've got Graham.
What we're built on. We're
Think
built
about-
on
I've always been like that though, and I'll get criticism for it before, but I always judge game by game. Like there'll be players that I will criticize one week and I'll love the next week. You know, with David Moyes' situation is like I'm sort of and Nicky said I'm sort of neutral Moyes. You know, I want Moyes to do well because if
I think most people are. Most people are Moyes ambivalent.
I think that if Moyes is doing well, the club's doing well, the team's doing well. But, you know, I've always tried to sit on the fence, not sort of sit on the fence, but I've always tried to be in that sort
Ryan,
of
all I take exception to are that fucking the section of people that basically try and call me a cunt for thinking the way that I am. Then I'll rear up. And that's why Twitter ain't probably the best place for me.
Before, and I've learned that. Do you know what? The best thing I'd done was 2 seasons ago, where I thought to myself,
I ain't debating. If you fucking come out and take that tact and start basically being fucking abusive, then you know
I've dealt with it all, mate. I've had abuse, I've had whatever, but I looked at it as I thought, if I get 99 good comments, I'll always concentrate on the one negative. But then I switched that. I thought, I'll concentrate on the positive.
I've got better at that.
The unfortunate thing is, mate, that's human nature.
Yeah, you're always going to get that. No matter
I think you've got to listen. I don't believe that you should not ignore all your haters. I don't.
Yeah, no. It depends on the tone of their message, Nicky. If they're being cunts,
personal,
then you should.
I remember this one guy, right, who was a well-informed, well-connected guy from. I would say like the middle class of the West Ham. Well, I won't go into any more than that. It was someone that was prevalent when we was in the sort of March era, if that makes sense, right? And he just for some reason, whatever reason it was, right? He took a disliking to me, although I've always thought to myself, like, although I've upset people in the past. No, it wasn't him. It was fucking that fucking ginger cunt that
West Ham Central.
No, it wasn't him. It was his wife's like a journalist or something. Do you know what? I'll remember who he is eventually, and I'll fucking name him. I don't care. I don't give a shit anymore. But he sort of like there was a certain rumors that was flying about us at the time, right? And they was totally unfounded, totally untrue. And he was prevalent that I was this anti-fucking West Ham, and I was.
That's what I'll get. That's what I'll get now.
That sort of thing, right? And I remember him tweeting me. I said something about something. I can't even remember what it was. And he tweeted me saying, "Is this the fucking same person that stole this money and done this and done that?" And it was totally fucking unfounded, a load of bollocks, right? And my son at the time had just learned how to read, right? Which was, we're talking about 4 or 5 years ago.
Fuck. Yeah,
I just learned how to read, and I'll never forget the time I left my computer on, and he tweeted me this thing. I tweeted something, I left it on, went and done something else, and he come back to me and he was looking at me as if to say, "Daddy, are you a thief?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, this man says you're a thief, and he said that you're a bad person, and blah blah blah, and you stole this money from the sick people and all this totally unfounded bullshit, right?" And that hurt me more than anything. Because
people don't fucking realise we're just normal people with families and kids and shit like that. They don't fucking realise.
The thing is, mate, I was the same. Like, it was that time as well where people were accusing me of taking a bung to pay for my wedding. And I'm like, believe me, when I got the invoice in, I wish they did bung me. Because
exactly. Yeah.
You're the fucking last lot that anyone would get a bung, you lot.
It hurt because I know the years that me and my wife and saved up to have a good wedding. And like when people accuse me of taking a bung, that's one thing I'll never ever take is a bung, unless it's a big bung. But that hurt me personally because I thought, fucking hell, like, I'm getting accused of this shit, and I ain't even involved in it, you know. But
Mate, we've been offered so much shit. You don't realise how much shit we've been given.
Mate, I can imagine. Honestly, I can.
And that we've turned down to change.
It's even happened to us a few times.
Yeah, to change our stance, to change our approach to the way we approach content. You know,
Yeah.
people will offer us money or you know, promises of this and promises of that in the past to influence the way we speak about certain things. Like for instance, it'd be like, well, we would give you this, say A, B, and C, but you must stop mentioning this. And I'll say, well, no, because that's not the, you know, that is representing. And I know other channels, Nick, and I'll be honest with you, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you know this sort of thing or what you've got come through your inbox or whatever, but they will take that.
Never.
For that sort of like short-term promotion, you know.
Never, ever.
I don't want to slag off Amos Chat.
Look.
Good friends there, but you know, at the end of the day, they took you know, a position at the end of the bowling season where we was offering to make content for the club.
Yeah,
and they offered it to Hammers Chat for the fact that they would speak positive about the club. And if you look at the time period, they did, because that's what the club needed at the time. As soon as the club didn't need them to speak positive anymore, they said, "Fuck off, Gonzo. Fuck off, Gio. You can go make your own fucking way in the world now."
That's another thing as well that Steve just said there. I remember when I bought my house, and do you remember that when people were accusing me like, taking fucking bundles to buy an house? Like, I've been saving up for fucking years. Like, people don't know my backstory. When I've got to
be honest, I think they think I'm a lost cause. I don't think I'm going to get any more fucking phone calls after the last one I had anyway.
I fucking like to buy the house I'm in now. Like, the struggles. Honestly, I lost my house I bought an house in 2012 and I had to sell it through fucking splitting up, and like, it was tough for me like to fucking get an house, and I was so proud. And like, when I done my first Friday night pint in this room that I fucking painted myself, decorated myself, and I had people slagging me off, and I took it to a heart a bit, but then I thought to myself, do you know what? Fuck them.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, like, I know my story. I know that I've worked. And the thing is, that my situation now is that in a situation now that I've never found myself in before. I left school in the year 2000. It's 23 years later, and it's the first time I've ever been out of work. And believe me, this is the hardest part of my life that I've ever been in, because I've got a family, I've got Christmas, I've got everything coming up, and I have fucking battled and struggled.
Horrible,
and I'm still out of work, and it is the worst place I've ever been in. But you know what? I look around, the people I've got around me, my family, and everything, and that's
a new door, mate. A new door will open. I swear to you.
Yeah. The work will come. Don't get me wrong, but I've never been in this situation before, and I didn't get good GCSEs. I didn't.
You don't need it. You got experience. I left school before my exams. I did. I've got none.
I have. It has been the worst 2 months of my life, but you know what? I just think about it. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking enjoy Christmas, and in the new year, Santa come up.
That's what you got to do. You will smash it. You will smash it, mate. Honestly, you will do. And that's the thing with me. Listen. With me personally, I've been in similar situations, and by hook or by crook, sometimes some of the best things that have happened to me have been through out of my control. You know, where you've kind of been forced into a situation, you could end up in a fucking way better job, thinking that is the best thing that ever happened to me. That's how you've got to fucking look at it.
Yeah, and 100%, mate. And
honestly,
yeah, it's been tough, but do you know what? As I said, I've always been a sort of saver. So when I was working, I always put money aside. So that's what's getting me through these next few months.
Let me just say this, right? Usual suspect, Sam. What is your trade? His skill set way is superior to his trade.
Porn.
He shouldn't be in the same trade anymore, because his skill set is far superior to what the trade he's been in. That's what I would say. But no, I agree with you, right? You know, it's been fucking tough this year, you know, and a lot of people don't realise the sacrifices that we do make. You know, I see someone on
they think you're driving about. They think you're driving about in a fucking Ferrari, Nick.
Oh yeah, of course they do. Of course they do, because that's what a lot of other guys are doing. You know, you there are some people that are full time. Listen, I've got a certain standard in my life, and I mean this with the greatest respect. I've got a certain standard in my life. I would never quit my full-time job until I knew at least that 3 or 4 of us could maintain the same style. You know, I would not fucking sacrifice my family life to just to sit here and fucking talk in front of the camera all day. I would not do that, you know, and I wouldn't expect anyone else to do that. You know, like at the end of the day, there is nothing more important than your family life. Like, I mean this with greatest respect. Gonzo is a fucking plumber, man. He can make a lot of money doing plumbing. But he, you know, his dream is to sit here and speak about Hammers Chat. And if he wants to sacrifice his family life for that, that's well and good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean that rudely, but whatever floats your boat. But I would not affect my contribution to my family to sit here on my arse all day. Fucking, I mean, with all due respect,
for me personally, like, this is what we do as a hobby. I think if it became a job, I'd end up hating West Ham. I think I actually would.
Yeah,
I think I fucking hate them. I'd be even worse than I am now.
I would never affect my sort of lifestyle to be able to do this full time. You know, if I was I'm not a qualified plumber. You know, I'm not a qualified nothing. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a qualified nothing. If I was a qualified plumber and I was making 50,000-60,000 pounds a year, contributing to that to my family, I wouldn't be sitting there on fucking Hammers Chat for fucking half of that every year.
That's
just
the difference.
Because it is what you need to do.
Yeah, that's the thing though. That's why the consistency
I wouldn't do that.
You see us put out isn't like them, because we don't sacrifice our families over everything.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. You know, I see them sometimes like. And this is no fucking disrespect to them, and you know whatever they've got and the fucking following they've got is brilliant, and I think they produce some good content. But I've got to say, since they've gone full time, their content has been affected because they feel like they have to produce it, they have to do this, they have to do that, and I'll be honest. Gio's a good friend of mine. I asked him on tonight, and he said he hadn't got 10 minutes, whatever. You know, that's up to him. But I don't watch their content anymore because I feel like it's false. It's false content. It's forced.
I don't know. Like, I watch Hammers Chat. I love watching Gio's content.
I think like everything, you know, like even if you talk like about the small people with like smaller channels and stuff, everyone, and I think like we were talking about earlier on with the community, even if you've got like fucking, I don't know, like 200, 300, 400 subs, there's people that watch you and you get on with you. And if like, I think when we started out, it was Nigel Khan. He said to me, because I think we had about 500 subs and we're quite competitive. And I was like, oh, fucking, we're not growing this, that, the other. He went, put 500 people in the room. So that's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
He says that's a lot of people. He said, if you're kind of doing that, and that's what he said. And going back to like what you said earlier on, Nick, about disagreeing with people, I disagree with fucking Nigel Khan on a daily basis. That geezer drives me nuts. He don't agree with anything that I say. He doesn't. But that man is like one of those blokes that just, you know, he just loves West Ham. He's really opinionated, super opinionated, as opinionated as me and you. But he's just different. But I can have a debate with Nigel because he's not abusive. He's fucking. Yeah. And the annoying thing is the fucker's always right. He's always right and all, which is really annoying.
I mean, the thing about I think any opinion is this, right? Yeah. If you come to the table with an opinion, and then you say to yourself, like, well, let's say fucking Brexit, for instance, right? Because this was the most divisive thing in our. Why do you support Brexit? I don't know. There's no argument there. Why do you support staying in the EU? Because that's what we've been doing for ages and it's working. There's no opinion there. Yeah. You've got to form your opinion. You've got to be able to, like, no matter what your opinion is, my opinion is as important as your opinion, Nick. It's as important as the geezer that goes and fucking buys his ticket off of a geezer that can't make it anymore because he's in Australia. Like, our opinion, because I've got a fucking camera and a microphone, it doesn't make my opinion any more valid than anybody else. But when you're forming your opinion, at least form the opinion of your own arguments. Like, you know, your own opinions. Like, don't turn around and go, yeah, well, I want Moyes out. Well, why do you want Moyes out? because everyone else does.
I made this point on a ramble last week, right? And it wasn't an attack on any other channels. It wasn't. But what it was, I said, like, the reason I got into YouTube in the first place, because I watched YouTube years before I fucking we got into it. And the reason that I did that was because it's like a break from the mainstream shit where they're like fed narratives and angles. It's all bollocks that you get fed. And what you should get, at the very, very least, what you would expect from a fan channel is literally you're watching someone who's basically being honest, giving their opinion, this, that, the other. And I said on that show, I said I think like there's all this crap is creeping into the West Ham podcast, not just West Ham, probably all channels, but just the podcast world, YouTube. It's becoming the same. People are being affected. And I'm not being funny. I just feel like it's a shame because I do think that everyone that does what we do, I think they're all West Ham fans. I think they'll love West Ham. But I don't think you should ever fucking never sell your soul. Ever. Don't ever do it.
You should.
Never do it.
I'm saying, Nicky, know this. I've
never do it.
Things I've been offered tables at the player awards and
short-term gains. That's what they
are. Listen, I'm not interested in all that. You know, as I said, if Nicky rung me up tomorrow and said, "Listen, let's end West Ham Fan TV," I say, "Okay, but we'll still be there next week and the week after." And this is my 30th season.
You can't end it. There's so many people that fucking rely on it.
Yeah, but this is my 30th year going to West Ham, and like when I think of that, I'm 40 in March. It's like 30 years I've dedicated my life to this football club, home and away, getting passionate. You know, buying the football shirts. You know, and in the end, what do they do to you? They treat you like shit.
Yeah.
I know that. I found that in the last few months. Like they treat you like shit. They don't care about us, but we'll always fucking be there and back them up and watch the games, and we love our football club. And I've always said that with West Ham, we can sit here and have a massive debate like, but if you went away, and it's like family, if you got someone you don't like in your family, but if someone else slags them off, you would defend them.
Yeah.
That's really like what West Ham is. You might hate the situation now, but if you're in a bar in Mexico and someone says West Ham is shit, you're like, we fuck, mate. You stand up for him. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's exactly how it is, and that's
we found the same. Nick, I looked at your shorts, your YouTube shorts, and you know, like you reacted to the guy that I've done some content with on AFTV.
That Arsenal geezer. He's a big bloke, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a fucking massive geezer. But I'm telling you now, mate, I was ready to fucking fight him. I was ready to fight him over that.
Well, you did look angry in that one. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how sometimes. I don't know how sometimes. One thing I don't think I'll be very good at, because when I'm calm, I'm quite articulate. When I'm calm and I'm not flustered, I can deliver things well. But I'll get pissed off so easy, and when that happens, I think I lose all. I'll get discombobulated.
I think the worst thing I could have done is gone. He said to him something like, "Come on in, you fucking prick," call us shit. Because you have to explain, you have to get across your point. Because that I think that's where like the likes of Talk Sport and
drive me fucking
Sky Sports and all that, they manipulate the comment, because there's so many people that are just ardent Moyes in, Moyes out, or whatever it is.
Yeah, but that's because they're neutrals, Nick, right? I said this earlier on. And what they do is they look at West Ham as a snapshot, yeah? So if you're not a West Ham fan and you're talking about West Ham, you'll go, where are they in the league? Right, oh, yeah, look good. Last 16. Have a look at a few fucking goals on Match of the Day. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, they're doing all right. What are they fucking moaning about? It's like asking us to comment on fucking Bournemouth or whatever else. We don't know. We don't know anything about what's going on at them clubs. We ain't got a clue.
Exactly.
You know, they are not qualified. They are not qualified. They are not qualified to judge us for our opinions on fucking.
We are a subplot to them.
They ain't.
We are a subplot because their selling point is not West Ham. It's not Brighton. It's not fucking Middlesbrough or Chelsea. Not Chelsea so much Chelsea, but you know, anyone outside the top. That is not their selling point. They're not trying to sell us the fact that, you know, they're not trying to sell their channel to our fan base. They're trying to sell it to a worldwide fan base.
Don't you find it condescending, Nick? Like when they say, because it's almost like West Ham fans should be grateful.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm like, fuck off, mate, honestly.
I don't know whether Jim White still does the show. I'll be honest, I haven't listened to for a few years. I know Dan still does it, but I refuse to do it because they asked me on to go on one day, and I was listening to what they were saying. I was thinking, like, you know, they're just going to manipulate me into saying this and that.
Dan's pretty good on there when he goes in there. To be fair,
yeah,
he's pretty good when he goes in there.
Fair play, and I just went to sleep. I switched it off and went to sleep and ignored the phone call, right? And they've never phoned me back since.
Yeah,
but you know, I've been in there and I've seen the sort of like scripts and the narrative that they get. Like, you know, when West Ham, who are probably, I'd say outside the top 6, the most hated side because of the, you know, we used to be the most loved, but we've sold our soul. We've become a bane on the fucking council and a bane on the taxpayer and all this.
We ain't sold our fucking soul.
No, we ain't. But you know, the club has in the eyes of the country. You know, we're getting funded by the, you know, as far as everyone knows, we're getting funded by the fucking by the government. The taxpayers paying for our stadium, even though it's a multi-million-pound industry or whatever. You know, we've become the sort of scapegoat of the country, right? So when we do bad, it's big business for them. You know, it's like everyone wants to point at us and say, "Ha ha, fucking, what a shit fucking show that is," and whatever. And they manipulate it in that sort of way. And when we do well, instead of like looking at it and saying, "Well, you know, let's be honest, in the current climate of the Premier League, when everyone's got to be paying this much and that much to, you know, to build stadiums and all that, and this team have got a sort of a free pass, which we have in terms of like what it costs Tottenham to build their stadium, which is £1 billion, right?
Yeah, but there's a fucking price to pay for us, which they don't realise. We're not in a fucking football stadium.
What I'm saying, right? So they look at it like this. So like they're thinking like, well, you know, they've had this, and like all of a sudden we've come to this stadium. We're 7-8 years into this stadium, yeah. Which is like when you think about Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
Arsenal were a competitive Premier League team up until they built their stadium. They've took 10 years basically to pay off their stadium and become competitive again. Yeah. So we're 7-8 years into this, right? And they're saying to themselves, well, you know, they've in the last 3 years they've been like in Europe, and they've got this player and they've got that player, and you know they should be thankful to be winning this Conference League and all that. But in reality, like when you think about it and what everyone's got to pay back, we're not really that competitive in terms of like what we've paid, what we've invested, the size of our club.
It's what we was fucking sold, Nick, at the end of the day when we moved from that place.
That was the selling point of the stadium.
It's what we were sold.
If every reporter had gone into that fucking meeting and turned around and said, you know, well, they've promised them in the next 10 years they're going to be in the Champions League and they're going to be competing in the Champions League. We're nowhere near. We're nowhere near that.
Not with him. Not with him. Honestly, I swear to you, I don't know whether you'll agree with me, Scott, Ryan. You saw what happened to Aston Villa last year. I believe so much in the quality that we've got in this squad. And that's why I get so fucking irritated at the moment, because it feels like a waste. I think you look at what Emery did when he came in. It was like a flip of a switch. And he came in and he grabbed that fucking team. Yeah, since then he's bought players, but he turned them around straight away, playing a different style. He's turned Ollie Watkins looked shit before he came in. He turned him into a great striker. Honestly, I think we're just that one piece away. And it's annoying me and it pisses me off. And what if it was just the fact that he was a shit manager, I wouldn't be as bad. But he's also a bit of a prick, which I can't stand. It drives me mad. When he comes out and he blames the fans, I don't like him.
Yeah,
I don't like him.
David Moyes, he seems to be like, whenever he's on the edge, he pulls something out of the bag.
Every time. If his last game, if it comes up again in 3 games, he'll fucking win it. He'll win it. Yeah. He will. He's like a wasp at a barbecue, the fucker. He never go away.
But that's the thing, though, mate. What you're saying is we are missing one piece of the puzzle.
One piece.
That is it. We're missing one piece of the puzzle. And the likes of an Emery coming in, that type of manager that can get a tune out of player straight away, not wait that period of time. And that's
I do say this, right? Like in the terms of how we play. When we had Alaria and he got sold in the January of 2020, I believe.
Yeah.
Who did we have?
Alaria.
Hilaria. Who's Hilaria?
Hilaire.
That's a Disney.
Hilaire.
No,
Hilaire.
Disney princess.
Sebastian Hilaire.
Yeah,
Right?
you said Hilaria.
That's what the squad have got at the moment. That
I
bug.
said Hilaire. When we had Hilaire here. Well, you know what I'm saying, right? When we had Hilaria, right? When he came the second time, sorry, and he had Hilaria, right? I backed more because I said when we had Hilaire here, when we had him here, right?
You was not a fan of Hilaria, was you?
No, I was not a fan at all, man. Because I'll be honest with you, when it worked, I thought to myself, you know what? You got to build a team around what works, yeah. And there is a time for that sort of striker. I thought he was lazy. I thought he was unwilling to adapt to our system, right? Which was working at the time, right? Which we come sixth, and then we come seventh, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, got sold. We didn't sign a striker. We played fucking Mikel Antonio, whatever. Then he took 2.5 years to sign a striker. Then he signs Scamacca.
It's the same fucking player.
It's the same fucking player. He's exactly the same player, and you don't get a tune out of him. He sells him for a loss. And although we won the cup last year, I start to think to myself, like, you know, how many players are we going to lose money on before this guy is?
This is the thing. This is the thing, right? It ain't just the money we've spent, yeah. It's the money we've hemorrhaged. So when you, like I said earlier on, when you come in as a manager, surely any of us, you come into a role. Your job encompasses all of the assets. Players are assets. He comes in, he's got Haller, who we spent a fortune on. Anderson, right? Players like that, he's got them. And you know what? It's just like what you said earlier, Nicky, where he's like, oh, you can tell they're not his players because he fucks them off. Yeah. That is bullshit. It's literally bullshit. I don't care if he ain't bought them. Once they're his players and they're in his squad, you can't be like that. You can't. How's he ever going to work with starting a director of football? I mean, Kudus has basically done what Rooney did when he was at Everton. Whenever he's given fucking Kudus 5-10 minutes, he's come on and just literally done the bollocks whenever he's come on. He's forced his way in. He can't drop him. And that's how he's ended up in here. And do you know something? I'll keep going back to it. I will. You've all said it as well. Everyone said it. He should have gone after Prague because that was a dreadful fucking season. He got away with one. That literally wiped the 35 game relegation battle out. He should have gone then. He's literally, honestly, people are going to fucking, I reckon, almost unilaterally, everyone's going to have a problem with him by the time he goes. I believe it as well. Yeah, especially with his attitude that he's got at the moment. He looks like he's in right dick mode. He's in dick mode at the minute.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't want for him. Is that I'd like
it's going to happen.
I'd like for him to have a good end to the season, leave the football club, and in the future, if you ever see him, you can shake his hand and say, "Do you know what? Thank you, David Moyes, for giving us that trophy." But boys, it's been a fucking long night. And
is this your record show? I just want to say, is it like a record?
I think it is, mate. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, and it's been a great show. But I think Nicky's knackered.
I've woke him up now. He's all right. He's good.
He's had
we got 12 minutes. We could take this into a 2-day.
I'm leaving. You can do what you want. I'm going. Yeah, I've literally.
The thing is.
Gentlemen, thank you for having me on anyway. Thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
Coming, mate. It's been really good to have you.
In 12 hours' time, you've got to be at London Stadium. So you've got to
do you know what? I've tried everything. You know, I'm not a season ticket holder now. This is why I don't like European football. I manage my son's under 15s team. We train on Thursdays. They play on a Sunday. So I let my lifetime season ticket holder forever. I let it go in lockdown, and I'd still go to loads of games. I'm going to Arsenal. I've got tickets for Arsenal, but I've tried last minute to get tickets for Man U. I can't get them. So if anyone's got any tickets, let me know.
But Nick, listen, mate, it's been a pleasure to have you on. And as I said to you before, in the new year we'll do a lot more collabs. Us on
100%.
You on here, mate.
100%.
We can collab together.
All the lads were fucking gagging to come on.
As I said to you, I know it was a bit much tonight because all of us are wrong, but we would do another show where you boys can all come over and only have a couple of us on, and we'll do that, and
we'll do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely,
Scott.
Absolutely,
you can end the show, mate. I'll leave it to you.
Wait, let me just say this, right? I need an update from Graham before we leave.
Who?
Graham. I want an update from Graham before we leave. I don't want to know what he's up to.
He's on his way home, I believe, mate.
What was Dan up? What was Dan up to? How comes Dan's gone? What's he up to? Has he got a hot date?
I don't know why Dan left, but Graham's all right from what I've heard, so it's all good. We'll leave it there. Before we go, we missed a couple of super chats.
We need to buy some condoms, Scott. That's what I'm asking you.
Not my place to say. So
no, I think it's getting late tonight, boys.
We've got
Graham, good lad.
That we didn't read out. So Drano Old Adams, $4.99. Cheers, mate. Our tickets to FMP 1. Mum was ill in Basildon Hospital. So I was close. Looking forward to FMP 2. I'm even on the Baileys 3-1 win tomorrow. Come on, you irons. And I'm not sure whether this got read out. Red 5, $4.99. This is going back a while. First 2 automatic qualifier. 3 third place FA Cup winners, 4th place Champions League playoff, 3rd and to 6th. I think that's going back to when we were talking about around Europe and the European qualifications. But lads, it's been a great night.
Can I interrupt you 1 second before you go? You know your Friday night pint 2 thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you've still got tickets, can you reserve us for? Because we'll come along as well. Just only to be in a crowd.
We'll do you know what? We'll be involved in the show.
Yeah. No, just get us out just to watch it. It'd be amazing, honestly.
I actually see that you posted the other day that you was looking to do your own show in March.
Yeah, that's with Ryan. Ryan's coming over from Australia in March. We're trying to do something with him.
We was looking to do our one in March. So if we could all get together,
mate, perfect,
and have a big show,
perfect.
You boys are more than welcome to get involved, mate.
100%, because it saves us organised now. I ain't got fucking Scooby what to do. But yeah, 100%. That'd be fun. It's for Ryan because he's coming over in March and we want to do something with him.
Mate, I gotta be out of bed in 7 hours.
Go on, Scott.
Right, but loads of sleep. That's fine.
Exactly. Nick, thanks very much for coming on, mate. It's been a pleasure. Chesney, thank you very much for coming on.
That was special.
Yeah. That's one of the highlights of my year.
Yeah.
That was absolutely fantastic. Everybody that's been involved in the chat tonight, everyone that's been watching us that ain't involved in the chat, thank you so much. We've been going for 3 hours, 45 minutes. We almost made it into Saturday. This is the longest FM.
I think that's literally broke our record. I think our longest show is 3 hours, 30 minutes. That's broke our record as well. Yes.
So, you know what, though? There's a part of me that don't want this to end because I've got a fuming missus waiting in the front room. All the daggers already.
I gotta go to bed because I've got to be up in 7 hours. I'm not going to be here tomorrow either.
But that's it. Listen. As everyone's got to go,
I've got to go out and get another one.
We're gonna see you all tomorrow at the game. There'll be content before the game. Watch-alongs. We'll be there filming fan cams and doing a post-match pint after. As I said, thank you so much for everyone that stuck with us for the 3 hours, 46 minutes that we've been going. There's one thing left to say after a Merry Christmas, and that is...
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.